There's a lot of hair in here to split, my friends. Are we live?
We are.
Oh, that's always fun. We have choices of cameras today. Hello, everybody. Welcome to. Oh wait, there's the back of it. The Wes Smith Variety Show. Everybody, that's just what we're doing.
No,
I'm gonna throw those out of the way now. That's what we're doing today. What's up, everybody? Patient listeners, all three of you. We have today we have a special episode for several reasons. It's because it's the first time we've ever had more than one person sitting in here with me in San Diego. And who are these clowns?
Clowns for sure.
We have young Collin, otherwise known
Collin.
as Cole Vassallo. Yeah, waving everywhere.
My name is Everardo Lopez.
What's your DJ name, man? Because everybody's a DJ, bro.
EvLo.
EvLo.
And I got a rave name.
What about you, Matt?
I'm Matt. I go by Matty Lad if I'm on stage.
It took me. Is that the stripper stage? Do you male dancing or DJing? Oh, okay, DJ.
I think we need to agree not to talk about this right before the show.
The what? The male dancing?
Yeah, man.
Or the
Jesus.
DJ?
When we're live, we're not supposed to talk.
And the super awesome, always awesome Agent 137 broadcasting live from New York.
Round of applause for everyone. Good job.
And I will note that it had the technical. I don't even know if they were difficulties, but us being late had nothing to do with Kelly Ross.
For once.
100% us. So, as usual, let's see. At the beginning, and partly why these guys are here is because we usually talk about some events, and maybe we'll turn it over to Kelly first. Coming up that you would like to talk about.
It's going to be important.
Do I have anything coming up that I'd like to talk about? No, actually, I started school again, so I don't have anything until December when I'm in school again.
What classes are you taking?
What's that?
What classes?
I like it.
I'm taking sound design and production from Berkeley.
Damn. That's a good place to do that.
About to run some circles around your ass.
I know, right?
Awesome. Well, we all have an event coming up.
Yes, I know. I'm posting it.
United by Bass. We love bass. We love bass is the actual name of the party, right?
It is Saturday, October 14th. We
Saturday,
do love
October
the bass,
14th.
even though it just has a heart on the flyer. You have to infer that it's love.
That's right. We heart bass.
We heart bass.
From the state that hugs and makes people feel weird if they're not from the state.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah,
That's true.
even people within the state.
It does.
It out.
Wait, what do you?
It's something we've never really talked about, the discomfort that you can tell. Can't you tell? Well, so first off, you guys are all three California natives, aren't you?
Yeah.
Well,
Right.
I was born in Arizona. I was born in Yuma, Arizona, which is I wouldn't recommend it. Don't go out there.
A lot of choice.
Yeah, so I didn't have a choice. We moved over here, and then I've been here since like '95. So
So
Been here most of my life.
So certainly West Coast, but most of your life.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I've been out here about 10 years now, which is most of your life, right?
I am 11 years old.
Yeah. Over 13 years old. The youngest aggregate show we've ever had, maybe with all of them added together included.
Some guy from the East Coast was at Kettner Exchange one time, and I turned around. Him and his buddy were sitting there. I turned around, and I was like, hey, guys, how's it going? You know, I just started talking to him, and they told me how bizarre it was that I just turned around and started talking.
Is that when we were all
Yeah.
there?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember those guys.
Yeah, he was like, that was incredible. He's like, California's so cool.
It freaks people out. So I was gonna, like, you guys being from here, has it always kind of been that way, or like have people just always been sort of friendly like that?
I mean,
In that
I feel like it all depends on what kind of niche you grow up in, but I feel like once you started getting into the more like bar scene, the music scene, you kind of get familiar with everybody, then it became way more open.
Yeah.
And somebody looking from the outside, they'd be like, I don't hug all my friends. I don't embrace all my
I
friends.
guess like outside of like the rape scene, people hug more here, but like inside of the rape scene, I guess it really doesn't matter where you go. Everyone likes to hug.
Yeah.
You know.
You don't
Yeah.
need hugs, man.
Yeah.
Is that
I
the
ain't
case?
either.
Well, we
Like,
do it on the
get
East
more
Coast for
places.
sure. I mean, Kelly and I knew each other from the East Coast a ways back, and
Did you guys hug back then?
yeah, in the rape scene,
Yeah.
club scene. But it wasn't like, it would definitely be like, you know, people would be like, huh? It was like something else. But here, like, I found even people in the scene that you don't know at all, if you're at an event, everyone's still hugging.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what I find different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You meet somebody brand new and say, "Hey, man, we're huggers."
Yeah,
Maybe not across, but
maybe not across.
Well, did you try? I didn't try to hug anybody.
exactly.
So for United for the We Love Bass this weekend, let's get that thing out of the way. As far as the party is,
we got 3 stages. We have a house stage inside run by Soleil, which is a prominent house scene here in San Diego. Chris Herrera, yeah. And then we have the SD Union stage, which is all drum and bass. We got the hospitality tour from the UK. Metric and EvLo and who's like inside of that, right? So this is gonna be good.
Residents too.
It's awesome.
Well, yeah, we have we have the.
Let's talk about the small fonts.
The local, yeah. We got the local love stage.
Shout out to the small font.
Shout out. You know, that's all the San Diego natives, and got some back-to-backs in there, and it's gonna be a good time.
Good time. What's the easy way to find it? WeLoveBass.com or is it .org or what is it?
Well, you could go to United by Bass.
United by Bass.
Yeah.
United
Love Bass 2017. If you type it on Facebook, it should pop up.
Yeah.
That would be the best way to find
it. And I think it's part day as well. It's like 3 o'clock, yeah?
It's 12 hours. It's 3 p.m. to 3 a.m. So
yeah, we're hoping people get that idea that it's a day party too and come early instead of just coming.
No, that's why I want to make a special point about it because like sometimes it's not, it's not clear and then, like everyone's like starts rolling out at 8. Small fonts got to play to nobody.
Yeah.
Yes, it is a day party.
It is a day party. It's usually, I feel like if you get there at the daytime and then you go into the night, you're going to have like the best time.
Oh, yeah, it's way more fun, especially at World Beat Center. I feel like it's a nice kind of day into night.
Right.
Yeah, so, most of the time people, well, there's been a few people that are from San Diego that I've chatted with on here. And then other than those times, so this is what, 36, Kelly? Episode 36, 37?
This is 36, yep.
So about 30 of those have been people that are not from San Diego, let's say. So they always ask, what's the club scene, what's the rave scene, what's the festival scene, Southern California, because they all know there's all kinds of stuff. A lot of people associate with, Dirty Bird being from California, I guess more northern or mid, but nonetheless, San Francisco, night bass, and then the bigger Dim Mac and, the massive Diplo and Skrillex. Like everyone knows that's from here, right? Yeah. So there's always those questions, but I always highlight, sometimes I say we United by Bass.
That's perfect.
We are United by Bass.
So we're knighting. But United by Bass definitely promotes a lot of good parties. And I kind of characterize them, at least right now, as like, I would say, like a mid-tier promotion and making that happen. They're not like at Basement, who we usually always talk about, as far as a club, but clearly they're promoting that club only and doing that thing, right?
Right.
As a club,
yeah.
Right? So, EvLo, you're our Basement representative. The basement without the E.
Right.
There's no E, right?
No,
right.
You don't need the. You got to misspell the words, and that's how you know it's quit.
And it's also how you know that it's different than the Basement that's in every other single city.
Exactly.
In the country.
Right. I'm pretty sure every club has every city has a club named Basement.
It wasn't it Bello before that?
It was
like a fancy way to say
East Street Alley before that. From what I hear, that was before my time.
That was before he was born.
Yeah.
That was back when he lived in Arizona.
Yeah. No.
So the 3 of us. Matty, are you playing on Saturday?
No, I taking that night off. I'm just gonna drink and party.
Super small font.
Yeah.
The
smallest font.
Like in the credits, like at the end of the movie.
He's actually in the bottom section where it's all pink. It's like in pink font. It says Matty Lad on top of pink.
Yeah. On top, it's only on some flyers.
There's no black light over it.
Yeah, it's only on some flyers, but yeah.
Yeah.
Special release flyers with Matty.
It'll be there.
So you guys are playing right for. I finished the local love thing, and then you guys play right before that, right?
We're warming it up for you.
That's awesome, man.
Warming it up.
As we have so many times. You guys are they're gonna drop all the heaters.
Yeah. They're gonna pee on the seat
and try to force me. They're gonna try to force me to deal with like someone who dropped all the bangers.
In our defense,
I get to figure out how to keep people.
It's our birthday set, man. It's our birthday. My birthday's on the 17th. His birthday's on the 16th. We seem to be very good friends, and I feel like it's kind of a rare thing. Then we're playing back to back. So we got
that's rare.
Oh, yeah.
That's rare. That you're playing back to back.
That never happens.
Yeah. So we're gonna go and we're gonna have a good time.
think let's see. We've obviously played back to back once or twice at the Juice Day Out parties.
Yeah.
I think the next one. I don't know if I told you guys, but I think so. The other thing outside of the United by Bass and the We Love Bass parties weekend, I think we've got that part promoed. That's basically our sponsor for today. We'll just call it that.
Sponsor and
That's right.
Citradelic.
Sponsor along with New Belgium. Out of Colorado, out of I think Fort Collins is where they're from. Good times. Yes. Actually, one of with all the beer snobs over here in Southern California, this is one of the faves I have that is not from California.
Vassallo, the Bear Grill pocket knife here.
Yeah, that's right. You never know.
You ever catch yourself in a situation
There you go.
where you're just like, get out of here.
How did I get out of here?
How did I get out of here?
Like,
You need
if
this.
you're ever like, I need to cut down that jellyfish.
Yeah.
Like, I need, to eat. Yeah, you got that. And it matches. It matches. I hate orange and I hate aqua.
Really,
I hate both those colors.
Clearly.
I can't
would
stand them.
never,
Can't
I would
stand
never
them.
guess.
Nothing's aqua.
Like
Nothing's
a roll,
orange.
Is that just a roll of
It's like
orange construction paper that we got there?
That's right. That's where like when we start doing real professional promo shots when we have a
Real
million
construction
listeners and
paper.
stuff, we'll be using that. So hang tight, young EvLo.
I'm there. I'm there. I'm all for it. I'm admiring it. That's fun.
What did you hand me? Oh, if I
So,
what?
no, so I didn't do that. That's
wrote
him. I don't
this?
know. Don't read that.
If
This
you're a
is- this is for
minority,
you. I don't know.
don't mention
That's a Matty
the
lad.
sub-focus.
Don't
part.
worry
There you
about my
go.
footnotes.
Oh, don't mention it. Is there something I'm not supposed to mention that you would like to mention?
No, I'm just not sure of a certain party whether or not it's been announced yet. So
Oh,
I was trying to avoid-
Well, no
avoid
worries.
the
Do you-
discussion.
Well, I'll just.
I think
I don't know.
EvLo,
Minorities at the top.
do you
I
have
have a feeling that was Matty Lad over here.
Oh, this party we're not supposed to
So
talk
we just
about.
mentioned that you played. Let's put it this way. We'll just talk about what are some of you played with a lot of. I would say out of all of us in this room, for sure in San Diego, you've played with the largest number of what I would call international headliners that have come through Basement. You've played a lot of not opening night sets, but like open, headliner opening
Direct,
sets. What do you call it?
direct
Direct opening, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, tell us a little bit about that jam.
Well, I mean,
Some of the big ones you like.
Yeah, for Feed Me for last year for my birthday, I think that was one of the best parties I ever played. Dirty Phonics. Yeah.
I was at that one. That was fun.
Yeah, that one was fun. I played for them twice. Net Sky was just recent, and I'm gonna play for Subfocus here.
Oh
coming
fuck!
up.
Well, there you go. See.
Well, there you go. It's out. I saw it.
It's a party.
Yeah, I saw it. It's a party. It's happening.
We were going that direction.
It's a lot of fun, but it's a lot of fun. But at the same time,
Tell us what it's like. Tell us what it's like doing direct opening at a very I would call first year club.
It's
San Diego.
It's very stressful because you never know what you're gonna get into. You never know what the person before you is gonna play. You don't. I mean, you kind of have permission to kind of just go, to do your own thing because it is an 18 and up club. So the whole warming up a downs crowd and making sure everybody has enough time to go get a drink and stuff like that stuff doesn't kind of really matter. You need to keep the attention of all the young people.
Yeah, it's not like a hip hop club where you got to kind of like
take it easy.
Some phases like
right.
Let everyone go drink, come back, whatever. Right.
Exactly.
It's times throughout the night.
Yeah, it's mostly it almost seems like you're going there for an event. You're going to go see the headliner DJ.
Okay.
So you gotta do your own thing. You gotta put on your own kind of show.
Yeah.
So if you do it the right way, you're not playing all the one bangers. You get.
You didn't play direct support for Infected Mushroom, did you?
No, I didn't.
Okay, because I was gonna say that I feel like it's also important, like how you choose to like play your set in direct support. Sometimes it seems like it affects the artist, and like it could be like in a negative way.
Yeah.
Like Infected Mushroom, like I was really looking forward to seeing them because I hadn't seen them in years, and then they played like mostly like dubstep and trap, and I was like, what the hell?
Well,
because the guy before them played all dubstep and trap. They're like, oh, this is what these kids like.
Exactly.
Exactly.
A lot. I think that happens is I feel like a lot of the they don't know. They don't know what. If they've never been, especially if they've never been to San Diego before, they don't know what the scene down here likes. It's like, oh, do I do my own thing?
That's funny.
I heard that's true.
I wouldn't think that.
Yeah.
But it's
I'm
like,
glad you mentioned that.
for example, like if you hear somebody that usually plays mostly different types of music and they play drum and bass here and there, and the last person played drum and bass and everybody was going off, and then
Right.
they start playing drum and bass for most of their set. I mean,
That's weird, man.
yeah, because then they just think like, oh, well, everybody loves it. That's why it's cool to do that here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
we
I'm
think
always
it would affect
prepared.
those
Yeah,
acts.
when I go somewhere out of San Diego, like I'm always prepared to play. I'll play a couple songs. I'll always have a lot of different stuff, and I'll always be prepared and I'll do my research too, though.
Yeah, exactly.
Who, you know, like on who, if it's opening or co-headlining or something, and make sure that I have like a couple songs that I know is likely what they're gonna play, and then play off that. But I can't say that I've ever played like a full set or majority set different than I would.
Right.
Yeah, because I would think like, I mean, these are headliners that are like, I mean, I'm usually headlining a couple 100-person show or something in that range, right? Like a small, medium-sized show. These are, I don't know what Basement holds, but these are international headliners.
Right, exactly. Yeah,
right. So they get the logo on the flyer.
Right.
I sometimes get in the big font, sometimes the second size font. They get the logo. So I'm talking that kind of headline,
exactly.
right?
It's party.
So my point is, with that, I wouldn't think that they would be concerned about that. I would think that they would be really there to play like what they're known for.
Well, I feel like it becomes a whole thing between, like, you know how people play festival sets and they play club sets. Like if you go watch a DJ that plays a massive festival, he's gonna play all the bangers, all the bigger stuff. When they play inside of a club, they're gonna play, I don't know, throw in some hip hop, throw in some different stuff that they normally wouldn't do on a bigger stage. So I feel like when you get into the club scene, and especially like niche environments, if you've never been to San Diego before or anything like that, like you don't really know. Like
the Basement's such a well, clubs like that, you know, like
and this is all just our hypothetical.
Of course,
thoughts,
this is,
you know what I mean? Like,
the entire variety show is speculation.
Yeah,
the whole fucking thing.
I can speculate about it.
Yeah, just keep that in mind, everybody. Like if LED, like people ask about promoters and stuff too. I always mention LED Presents. So like if LED Presents is watching this right now, there's zero facts here.
Yeah, no
zero.
Facts. We don't know. I don't know.
Except for that there is a We Love Bass party Saturday night.
Yeah,
that's a fact.
14th from 3 a.m. to 3 p.m. to 3 a.m.
That's right.
It's going for days.
What were you gonna say, man? About that?
Talking about headliners playing off that vibe, Ardalan did it really hard the other day at that one party we were at. Remember when Ardalan played a bunch of
was that like spin?
What you would call walking music?
Where you said one Snapchat, and I was like, why did they send more? And then you answered that question by telling me you played. Like,
I mean,
is that the one Jay Flip was supposed to be at spin?
Yeah, it was that party. I mean, I thought he did great. Don't get me wrong. I was more excited to see Ardalan than Jay Flip personally. But I feel, like I said, I feel like the opening,
I don't think she exists.
I don't really know.
Because I've been in another party where she had logo spot. So did I, but my logo was smaller. But she wasn't able to make it that time either. So I think she may be a goat.
Same thing happened at Dirty Bird Camp Out last time, I believe.
No way.
Yeah.
I've seen her.
Oh, yeah.
I've seen her. I thought you were there.
All right.
I've seen her too.
You've seen her, Kelly? She exists? She exists.
I went with, me and Skandar went and saw a Dirty Bird.
Oh, okay. All right.
I know, like, I don't know if Bigfoot exists, but if somebody showed me a picture of Bigfoot, I'd be like, that's Bigfoot.
It's that kind of thing, right?
Yeah, I guess so. I'm
not sure if you showed me a picture of her, if I would be able to say, yeah, that's her. I don't know.
I've never seen her, so I just all under the moniker Bigfoot.
You know, it's like it could be a marketing plan.
Good.
You know, like we're all talking about her. There's probably some people watching this that are like, "Who's Jay Flip?" Right now, they're like checking it out. They're googling.
Sure, go check it out.
I just
go to her show. You might see her, you might not. You know? It's like going whale watching.
Dude, you better be careful, bro.
Right.
Now, if you ever play with her, if you ever play with her, they're gonna be like, "I heard you mention my name in whale in the same sentence."
Let me clarify. It's about, you're gonna go. You might see some whales, you might not. They're doing their own thing. They got their own thing going on.
Whales are still cool and they're fantastic.
I give you
no disrespect towards whales.
Rarely towards whales. Yeah. But DJs, a little disrespect towards DJs, but nothing towards whales.
I'm just saying.
Nothing towards whales.
If you want to go whale watching, I could imagine some people paid a lot of money, but disappointed. Like, I didn't see any whales. I don't know. That's just me.
I don't even know where to go with that.
I'm just saying.
Yo, Agent 137, did you have something you were trying to say there for a second?
No, I was gonna share my screen, but I don't think it's gonna work.
Oh, you had some. You were doing some recon while we were talking.
I did, but yeah, let's see if it'll happen.
Do some sleuth work and throw that on the screen. We need some sleuth work.
All right, that's what I've got.
My favorite kind of whale. Ooh.
That's a whale right there. We got it.
Oh!
I don't know. If I was gonna say my favorite, I would say a killer whale, but technically that's not a whale. It's actually a very large, whatever the dolphin.
Really not a whale?
No, whatever the dolphin family is.
It's an orca.
Yeah, it's
dolphin.
orca.
I
It's,
think
it's like a
orca is
large
it's like
dolphin.
scientific.
But why do they put them in the? You know, when you get like a whale like spread, like the National Geographic bunch of like
It's dramatic.
life-size
They're
things,
on
they're
there.
in there.
It's dramatic,
Why would
dude.
they do that?
Because
It's dramatic.
they're like the largest they're like in the dolphin family.
I mean, it's kind of like when they show a list of the top 10 DJs. Like, why are at least 3 of them in that picture?
Oh my gosh.
The whale comparisons are heavy right now.
We take no
Diplo,
prisoners. No
President
prisoners here.
Orcas.
No prisoners here. You know, do any of y'all follow his like any of his feeds of stuff?
I had to
Yeah.
stop.
I follow his Instagram stuff.
I had
I
to
follow.
stop.
Yeah, he's like
He's in the
I
gym.
hadn't looked at it for a while. I total respect, dude. Nothing
Yeah,
to do with
he's in
all,
the
all
gym.
his fame and money.
Oh, yeah.
Like for a long time, I've followed him from the production work that comes out of his studio and label and stuff. And they're always good to the producer community. So very cool. But and there's some good documentaries where he's like mentioned way back with like Steve Aoki and DJ AM, kind of the roots of the
Yeah.
LA scene and how that all came about. There's some cool stuff.
Yeah, no, he's-
Oh, he's done a lot.
Anyone remember the documentary?
I
What
don't.
that documentary is?
No, I didn't see that.
I think it's about AM Only's. AM Only. That's a booking agency or management company. Damn.
We only book
Not
shows
AM
in the
only.
AM.
But DJ AM. Rest in
No, I never
peace.
saw
The
that
hip hop
documentary.
DJ. Yeah, there's a DJ that there's a documentary that's about his life, and all those characters are
I remember one of
are
the
shown
BBC
in there.
documentaries that did like a whole little chunk for him.
Yeah.
Where it was like a tribute thing.
Well, apparently, and I really just gathered this from the documentary. When I lived in New York, I do remember, like, I didn't know anything about him, but I do remember there were a few clubs which I knew were popular clubs, like 4040, which is owned by Jay-Z, like that size level clubs,
Okay.
and you know, where they would have like, you know, tables for 10 grand, that like almost Vegas-ish, right? And that place would be lined around the block, dude. And it would be like DJ AM, and I was like, who is that dude? You know, had no idea, man. Yeah, but apparently he is credited by a lot of those guys, the current now big
Right.
West Coast EDM guys, with becoming the first like celebrity DJ, or I shouldn't say that because that's like Paris Hilton, the
Oh,
first
I see what
DJ
you're
to
saying.
become a celebrity,
Right, kind of
Yeah.
like almost
Is what
like
I mean.
Calvin Harris status.
famous.
For
Yeah,
DJing.
yeah, right, for being a DJ.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like basically he was, I guess, cruising back and forth from LA to Vegas. And anyway, go watch the documentary. It's awesome. It's good stuff. Do we need a beer break?
I just need a
No, I
bottle.
got one.
Speaking of which, Agent 137, you said we've got a couple things that are things for you on the show today. And what is our? We never have an agenda, but I know there's a few things. I know we're going to do some needle drops.
Yes.
We have to give a shout out. Two things we should probably say. So
You know what I mean?
if you want to send any promos, as in music promos, not like all your promotional bullshit, but as in music that we might be able to play. It's so funny, like, because I have this issue now when I'm trying to add people who I've met on the road and I want to add them to my music promo list. I have to be very clear because it didn't occur to me that now there's so much social media and stuff being targeted and thrown at people that some are concerned that they actually mean just like a bullshit promo
Just
list.
general promo.
I mean actual music, like not regurgitating all of, like you're not going to get a West social media digest once a day.
Nice.
No, it's like when new music comes.
Unreleased music, something that might be coming out on a label that is a pro.
Thank you for clarifying that, Ross. And so on that note, people who send them to us, they can send them, the email address for that has always been promos, PROMOS, at itswestsmithyo.com. And Kelly, Agent 137, sleuths those out. Just to be clear about this, because there has been a little confusion and we started to get a lot more. And so I just wanted to be clear about that. I try to listen to all of them. And I may listen to, I will listen to all of them at some point. I don't always get to listen to them all before they've actually been released, because some people send them in like a week before they're released, 2 weeks, and it just depends. Maybe I don't even have a gig, whatever. So I don't listen to a lot of it if I don't have a show or something coming up. Kelly, however, does go through all of them. One of the unseen things, and this is why I'm talking about this, because also sometimes on here, other than awesome guests and their shenanigans, kind of talk a little bit about music business, things out there that people may be curious about. And that's one of those things, at least how we kind of do it. I suspect this happens with a lot of people if they get a lot of stuff. And so Kelly is awesome and does that. And out of that, she picks some that she likes personally, nothing to do with me, that she likes to play on here. Yeah, because we're getting a variety now. Like it used to be like primarily breaks, and then you know, as some of my production stuff diversified, we'll get more diverse things that make sense, right? So now we even start to get, and it depends on who we play shows with too and talk to. Like the OKNF, you know, Clem Lee, that collective out of New York, like they're all into like, they call it Brooklyn house, you know, or like Brooklyn bass. And it's like, I would say it's plus or minus, you know, 10-20% from what you guys play when you B2B that I've heard. Right. So very house, like straight up four on the floor, right? That kind of stuff. Yeah, somewhere in between, you know, hipster versus Dirty Bird, something like that. You know, like, no, it's that style. It's good stuff. I play some of it. I'll play some of it this weekend. But shout out to those guys. But so like they're sending us stuff, they'll send us stuff now. So it's getting a different melting pot. On that note, Kelly, let's take a quick break. And you know, you got something you wanted to give a little clip or two of, and we'll take a little intermission, sip our beers a tad.
Okay, bathroom break.
That's the bathroom break while Kelly drops some needles.
Exactly. All right, so our first one today, hold on, this came a little bit earlier than I thought. So the first one is, oh, and by the way, I have a question about the difference between promos and people wanting to send stuff into a label. And I know we can talk about that with Collin, because I'm getting a lot of those emails and messages on Facebook about that. So if you don't mind, we can do that afterwards. And
rock your needle drops, and we'll be happy to share that topic.
Okay, please hold. All right, the first one is it's called Positive Vibe. It's by OutSelect. I love OutSelect. I think that most of what they're coming out with is pretty freaking awesome. So let's see.
It's from Russia, from IBWT crew, I think.
Yes. Yeah. And this came out on Fat Vibes, or is coming out on Fat Vibes. I'm gonna scrub it out to, there we go.
Recorded pushed out, like we've always. Yeah. You can't hear it all that great here, but you know, but.
The roller right there. The breakbeat roller.
That's OutSelect from Russia, right? I got it right? That OutSelect?
Yes, correct.
Cool.
And the next one is Hybrid Theory featuring Trilla. It's called Active. And I believe that one came out of Punks. Yeah, Punks. All right, please hold.
A couple good things come through there every now and then.
Every now and then, just every now and then. That's all.
Shout out, Punks.
Oh, we had a needle jump, my bad.
What's that?
I said, oh, I had a needle jump there, my bad.
Literally did.
Literally. Okay, and
that was Hybrid Theory off of Punks?
That was Hybrid Theory and Trilla, correct, yes.
What was the name of the track?
It is called Active.
Sweet. Active.
I'm active. And I have one more. We're going to go to the drum and bass side. And I'm not sure if this is It's Mac 2 or Matt Macy. But it's by Benny L, one of my favorites, and it's called Just Swing. And this is a little bit related to something that you posted earlier too, so I thought it was a little bit funny. Okay, here we go.
I don't know what they're.
All right, and I think something just landed on my roof. For real.
We got, speaking of punk, they just had a left-right remixes release come out.
Wow.
It's pretty good. There's a Worthy remix.
Would you like me to play one of them? Because I have those too.
Play the Stranger one. The Stranger.
I love the Stranger one. Okay, hold on.
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh, hold on, I'm playing it. I got it.
I didn't want free promo.
Planet. I'm not saying that like I'm trying to say like I don't use some of those. Don't get me wrong. It's not that kind of thing. It's not hate.
No, but those bass house patches get around for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are definitely.
Yeah.
It's funny how some of the same songs work their way into things. Yeah, there's a Born Dirty remix and a Word.
They all come from like, Serum or
Awesome. Yeah, of course.
And some of them are probably created original, and then they, so like, I don't know. It's hard to tell. Like I would like to say that maybe certain labels or movements like they get started with because of a certain like bass sound or something. Like I'd like to say that they might have created it, but probably not. In most cases, they were probably just the first one to find it and kind of popularize it, and then little tweaks from there.
I mean, that's one of the things that I'm learning right now. You guys asked about, when I was going to school for it, but I'm learning to do that stuff from scratch. And it's so fucking hard. It's really hard to do. And I can understand like why people would just pull something from a bank and just be like, this is the sound that I want. This is what's popular. Let's go with that, instead of sitting there and toiling and troubling over it for hours to just get a groove down,
Well, this brings up an interesting point because thank you, by the way, for anyone who's sending those promos. And good luck out there in the world, wherever you may roam.
Good luck.
Good luck. Good luck.
Yeah.
That brings up an interesting point though, because it's a weird thing, right? Like, so, there are even the term live act has now been stretched, right? Because live act, let's say I'm not sure which thing, but let's just say fast PCs, Ableton, pre-DAW, sample pack for sure, producer sample pack. That may be the tipping point, the producer pack. Like before those things went rampant, a live act meant somebody who made the sounds in many cases, or was at least playing patches live on the
like an
keyboards
octave
and
one
whatnot.
kind of thing.
Right.
Yeah.
So usually either a sound designer playing music that they created with sounds they made, or a legitimate live musician playing patches, but playing them live.
Right.
Like not
now if you play clips from Ableton, that's live. So it's kind of
right. So and you know, so I'm interested in you guys' perspective on that. Young Collin, since you brought it up,
Oh well.
what do you feel is live? I mean, why is it different?
It's hard. It's such a gray area now. I mean, you got stuff like Chris Liebing, who plays on 2 laptops, and he's got Tractor and Ableton, and like a whole spaceship. So I mean, even though he's using computers, it's kind of hard not to call it live. It's kind of a convoluted term now. I mean, it's got like many meanings, it seems.
So that's I would say for sure a live performance.
Right. Yeah.
Right. But a live which doesn't necessarily mean a live musician.
Oh, absolutely.
Right.
Yeah, definitely.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
And maybe even more complex.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I think that's when on the better end of the spectrum, because I've heard people be like, oh, I'm playing a live set on Ableton, and they're just triggering the song.
Yeah.
And be like, well,
Yeah.
song. You're not really even mixing. Like, you're not really doing much other than just hitting a button, and then you thought about it earlier at home, and whatever the crowd is feeling doesn't matter because you already thought about it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Totally.
As long as it's like something besides turntables, people will call that live.
Exactly.
Yes,
Exactly.
that's true.
That's
True. Good point. Yeah.
I'm like, are you using turntables? No, I'm going live. What does that mean? Well, I have this song and this song. When I hit E, because I set it to E, and now that activates. I created my own instrument, and I would push 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It all just worked.
Yeah. So then
Sometimes I press 3 instead of 4, though.
Yeah.
What? Yeah. So
Spontaneous.
I used Ableton for about a year strictly for playing like what would be the DJ performance.
Right.
And just to kind of learn the whole other side of things you can do with Ableton.
APC when you did that?
Yeah. And it was cool, and I had fun with it. There's pros and cons, but the funny part is like you're saying, EvLo, like I was like, after a while I thought, like there's either like, for me to feel good about it, I was like, well, I've either because I really couldn't mix in the mix, mixing without quantize and mixing off the grid, like I do,
Right.
with CDJs, even turn all that stuff off, and you can't really do that. So I felt like that alone was enough for me to, I either had to make a decision that I was going to go beyond what, just putting tracks in Ableton, like you're making a studio mix or something, which do that, I don't, when I do a mix for Armory Podcast or something, I don't sit there and like mix it 45 times on the CDJs until it's what I want. Like I flush it out on the CDJs or at shows I play, and then I know mixes that I might like, and then I'll put all that together in Ableton and make it mastered for public consumption, right? So I'm clear about that. But yeah, I got to this point where I was like, well, I've either got to start taking the stems of my tracks and slicing them up into clips, and then I felt like it would be live.
Yeah.
At least like having to trigger the clips of my own, songs, multi-tracked, let's say 10 tracks or something out of it, like that, right?
Yeah.
And like bars of them, and having to do that live.
Right.
So I felt like if I go to there, okay, then fine, I'll feel good sticking with using Ableton to play like my DJ sets.
Right.
But I was just like,
that's what I had originally.
way too much work.
Yeah.
It is. It seems like it's.
I did it some like in the studio, and I was like,
a lot of times I feel that like when you're just trying to throw in like samples of other songs, I mean, you could definitely do that with CDJs already. Just have your own folder
And with the tracker, like they do this whole stem thing with the remix. Tracks and everything.
Yeah.
That's what I had intended to do. But, at first, when I first got into DJing, I actually had more of a live set mentality. Like with the first thought I ever had when I decided I want to be a DJ, I actually wanted to use something like an MPC and have like some real like live band elements. But
we talked about that.
Yeah, and I think those things are great, but it just the tunes, like I've heard a lot of live sets, and the tunes that are like professionally produced, like not in a live setting, they're just so good that it makes it difficult to kind of justify sometimes like adding work to yourself, and then the end sound is not always quite as good. So there's some people that appreciate that, and there's some people like Kink that do a fantastic job, like better than almost anyone at that. But just for the listeners and for the dance floor, like it's hard to beat like those like professionally produced and mastered.
People don't even care.
Studio.
They absolutely don't care, because you could go. This was gonna be one of my next questions. Like we've all been to our share of whatever desert parties, festivals, Burning Mans, clubs, small venues, day, night. Between us, it's 1,000, right? And it seems like unless maybe you have the opportunity to get right up close and watch someone truly pressing all the buttons.
Right.
I don't know that people. I shouldn't say they don't care. I just don't know that they have the opportunity to know any different.
Exactly.
Oh yeah.
And so if it's a large stage, like, and you're gonna put a ton of effort into some kind of performance thing, you might as well DJ and wear a helmet and have killer fireworks. No disrespect to that, because that honestly looks more fun from out in the crowd when it's 10,000 people, right? Or even 1,000 maybe. It just looks more fun, right? You can't, like, watching a 4-angle video cam of some dude mashing buttons when you can't really get up there and almost like hear the buttons click. So, like, you know what I'm saying? Like if it was super small setting.
Yeah, it's like at the end of the day, it just matters what comes out of the speakers.
Yeah, and have people aren't looking anyway,
Right.
or
Yeah,
can't
for
see.
some people, as long as it sounds good.
Yeah, I think it seems to be a niche thing.
It's true.
One of the things I've seen that I do like, though, and it actually, when I saw it, I was reading an article about Armand van Helden and others. I'm trying to get the bottle opener to open this. Or here we go. Yeah, right. So one thing that did occur to me, though, which seemed also to be a lot more fun, is to actually maybe for myself, for example, like maybe after, well, it's probably been long enough, but let's say a few more years or something, where I have a diverse number of songs that I know have been great and or have longevity, you know, to actually like put a band together that can just play those, right? And then produce that aspect of it to make sure it sounds like I wanted it to sound, but since I don't play bass guitar live or whatever, you know, have people that do, you know, and have like their whole life play instruments, right? And that makes sense. Then I think then you're a live band. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
Legit. Because I'll never be that like myself, you know, like I will never be, you know, whatever, a top, 1,000 guitarist. Yeah. Not going to happen. I don't have that kind of patience.
But you want to put together a band?
What, Kelly?
You don't want to put together a band? We should totally do that.
Put together a band.
Yeah, but I was gonna say that's one thing that seems like almost a little bit lacking in dance music production is like you don't get that, like, even when you collaborate, like there's a difference between when you're with a band and there's a drummer and a bass player and you're all like trying to produce a tune, versus when you collaborate with other people. Like I kind of wish that we could get more of that like garage band jamming kind of action into dance music, like where I have like a drum machine, you know, and you got a synth and we're like all just recording and we're jamming different things out. Like, and I've seen like some people like do that, like Mean Edge and Dance. They had a video where they like we're all jamming on some different units, but it just seems like a little bit harder in dance music.
Live recording.
Sunshine Jones does it, right?
Does it? Yeah, he was at West Coast Week Hunter.
Okay.
But I would just like to see more of that. I think there's a dynamic that is kind of missing in some like some collaborations. You know, it'd be nice. It'd be nice to do that. I would have fun doing that. You know. So
a point I have about this is like these things, why you do and don't see them, almost always at some point boil down to the money.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And so, right, and we know that. But a lot of people that just go out to a party don't know that, right? So once you've dipped your toes in the DJ side or the Ableton, you know, DAW side or production side or live DJ, whatever, all these mixtures, you start to realize, you start to realize the time, the effort, all these things, right? So I was going to ask, like, it doesn't seem to me like there's really within the EDM community, it really does not seem to me like there is any respect for an actual live production.
True.
Your kink and your.
But even how much more like from the average.
Well, who does it? That's a major. Who does it? That's a major headliner.
I mean, Kink played.
Because I don't usually go to the really big festivals. So
he played across. Kink,
okay.
Just this last weekend before last. Chris Leaving probably is one of the biggest techno guys that does like a quote unquote live act.
Yeah, Richie Hahn. Richie Hahn does
their live act.
Oh,
that's pretty sweet. I think that was.
But like, it would. You're right. It would be more difficult to get that going because obviously being like, hey, you come over, bring your MPC, you come over, bring your synth, I'll grab my drum machine. That's obviously way harder to have happen than you come over to my room and work on Ableton. But I'm just saying it would be fun to try to get something like that.
It is fun, but then you also have to realize you have to think about when they're putting, like, say we're gonna try to go, like, say we have a band together, we're gonna go get a show. Be like, well, I'll pay you $100. Be like, well, there's 5 of us. Well, that's
cool. They're like, we'll still pay you $100.
Yeah, exactly. And then there's this one guy right here that'll do what you're doing for $100. Oh, yeah. So that, I feel like that has I mean, that's one of the problems that my friend's band, because when I first started DJing, I would DJ with my friend's band. and they would split the money between everybody. And it was just like, well, if you're a DJ, you get the money all to yourself, and you do your show for 5 hours.
It's way easier logistically.
When you're in a band, you have to bring out your equipment, you have to bring out everything, and blah blah, and then you got to split the pot with like 5, 10, whatever.
You also have to play at venues that have sound guys that can deal with live sound.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
You know,
there's a lot
PA
of
issues. It's a whole
I was
different
talking
deal.
more from like a purely production aspect though. Like what I meant is like if everyone come over to the garage, we produce a tune, and then I'll play it in a DJ set. Like I just like you're right though. Once you try to apply that live atmosphere with more than like 2 people, like it just logistically gets very difficult.
But I
for
feel
the
like
venue and the promoters.
I feel like a lot of DJs are going more towards like, oh, well, the live set. Like Matt's guy has a live set now, and Wilkinson has live.
Did he play live at
he did.
basement with you?
No, he didn't. But Nero did.
You gotta have the right. Yeah, you definitely have to. I think it boils down to the budget.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like,
I
once you
think
build
the
enough
promoter has to
momentum-
make a choice. Like they may know that I mean, I know that was the case with like the Crystal Method. Like theirs is always like that. It's like, well, do you want us to play a DJ set or do you want the live rig?
Right.
You know, because they clearly can do both.
Well, I think infected mushrooms is the same thing.
Probably.
You have the DJ sets
Sick
and
live
that.
sets,
Yeah,
dude.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, there's some YouTube videos of them all jamming out. The one DJ also plays the keyboard, and he's like one of the sickest keyboard players I've ever seen. It's insane.
When
I think
people
they do a Foo Fighters cover, so if anyone wants to go to YouTube, Foo Fighters Infected Mushroom cover, recommend it. It's pretty fantastic.
YouTube Foo Fighters Infected Mushroom cover. Shout out. What's up? Look us all up right here. Infected Mushroom. Come on in. Next time you're in San Diego, get on the Variety Show. Look at these sweet digs we got now.
Yeah. What is it? Is it like a air gun?
That's for bangers.
Agent 137, what have we missed? We're by no means ready to stop, but have we missed something important? We have certain things we're supposed to do.
There you go, everybody.
Banger.
Banger.
There it is. Times 2.
Matty, what has your road into DJing been? I don't know which of you has DJed is the newest to the DJing world. Who is it? Matty? Then
Yeah.
Sweet. Let's ask you, man. What's it like getting into it these days?
It's nice. It's really nice. It's everything I could have ever imagined. Not more, but everything I could have imagined.
That's good.
He's really not that smart, folks. So don't get carried away here. But he's got great shirts and great hair.
Yeah. And you know what? That's a good point. The good shirts and the good hair. It's been a very interesting. It's been a very interesting startup, and I've learned a lot. But I've also learned that there's a lot of things I can use to my advantage in this scene.
Cool shirts and nice hair.
Such as cool shirts and nice hair.
Being a nice guy goes a long way. Don't be an asshole.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's
if you're introverted, maybe try to figure out how to be a little less introverted.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, as you start to meet people and meet a lot of people, it's very important to be cool. You know, we were hanging out with Max Chapman the other day, and not only is he #1 on Beatport all the time, but
I'm that kind of crazy.
I know, it's the same.
what?
That guy's awesome. Cool guy.
He is really
The
cool.
payday that we were just hanging out.
I like to think people say that about me after I leave their town.
Yeah, he was yeah, but he's the coolest. He's the coolest DJ I've ever met. He's the coolest guy I've ever met. You know, it's
Damn,
it's
son,
no
those are
secret.
fighting words in
Yeah,
a room with 3
wow.
people.
Jeez.
I don't know, man. There's some astronaut.
Fair enough.
walking here
Fair
right
enough.
like-
Fair enough.
But wait,
We know you mean outside of your EDM family.
Yeah, exactly.
but you met Martin Horger though. Is he nicer than Martin Horger or cooler than Martin Horger?
I think what he means
Martin's
is like
pretty
for
nice.
someone of like such a high successful level, you know.
Yeah, like
always
logo
releasing
level headliner.
Exactly.
Yeah.
For that, like I think he was incredibly nice. Like he just kicked it with us at the house and just I was chatting it up and there was no ego involved in telling stories. He's a funny guy, and super down to earth. So it's nice. But most of them are like that. I mean, in
A lot of them are.
house techno
Yeah.
drum and bass. Like I can't speak for some of the other genres, but I've had mostly good experiences with everyone I've had to work with.
That's true.
So back on the new DJ thing, what was like timeline? What was it from being interested to your first set playing out?
So being interested, It depends what you really want to define as playing out. But for a long time,
first party
I was
rave.
banging out.
You went out.
I was banging out house parties in our living room.
At a venue where people pay for tickets.
A long time.
Not the trap house.
Not the trap house. We'll talk about that in a minute.
We all had a good time at the trap houses.
The trap house was solid. Shout out to the trap house. No, but
stay focused, man. Young, inspiring people that want to get into music. They need some sunshine, brother.
The difference is when I went from doing it on the weekends as something for fun to doing it every day because it's really what I wanted to do. It became what I wanted to do. But to finally get into Spin Nightclub and be able to showcase it, it was fantastic. And like I said, I appreciate all the people that have made it possible along the way. And
well, that's what's key too, right? You gotta like have a good support
It has to
system.
be in the environment.
Yeah.
yeah, which again comes down to being a sociable, easy to get along with. I don't know.
These are fair statements. Yes. You can
All
say
fair
it.
statements.
You're allowed to say
Just being a cool guy just ends up kind of working out for you because people aren't going to book someone they don't
Because
like.
people don't like assholes.
Oh,
Yeah.
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 I mean, you could be the best producer or DJ in the world, but if you're a dick and nobody likes working with you,
Yeah.
at the end of the day, it doesn't make you mad. Well,
Kind of good.
I
Well,
don't know.
there's always exceptions,
Yeah.
right? There's
There's
always
like,
some
yeah.
dick that sweeps by
Yeah.
or arrogant, whether it's a guy or a girl, whatever.
As
but-
far as in the local scene and just connecting with people and just basing it off of just wanting to play music and stuff like that, people enjoy themselves a lot more if you're enjoying yourself. So
Yeah, and absolutely, and it's important to have respect, obviously, for the people who have been in the scene, and I think that's part of being if you're up and coming, like, and you don't show that respect for people, and you just like are just I just want to be seen, because there are a ton of people. Like I think about this all the time. Like at least every festival, there's got to be at least 100 kids who have been. I mean, I was one of those. I'm not trashing that. Like I decided I want to be a DJ after I saw Wolfgang Gardner. So I'm sure, but my point is that after almost every party, there's going to be people who like have that realization of how dope it is to DJ and want to do that. And I think what kind of separates yourself from the rest of the pack is to be that Mark Farina and be in the DJ booth taking notes, be highly respectful, offer to carry people's gear, put in your time and don't just be someone who's clearly trying to just skip the line. You know what I mean? I think that's important.
That's true. That's interesting. Speaking of skipping the line, in a different type of music, country music, which I can't say that I'm listening to, but I've listened to it some. But no, but speaking of the skip the line thing, is that I agree with all those things. I also think, though, that levels, and I keep talking about, font sizes. So if you have 4 font sizes and then logos, let's just take 5 layers, right? Because you see these big flyers, dude. And obviously that's what I'm talking about. But I was watching this thing where I think it was, are y'all familiar with Darius Rucker? The country, by any chance, country music guy? You might have heard one of his songs.
I've seen his name before.
He's got a few songs that are like so popular in the crossover, like Jimmy Buffett almost zone. Like that's, like just fun, lighthearted country stuff, sing along stuff. Anyways, big, very, very big international guy. So he I forget the band that he was the lead singer for, but it's like 30 years ago almost, dude. And then more recently, and then yesterday I just happened to see or the day before on the plane, I was watching some stuff at the airport, and anyway, they were showing how he got his skip the line card, and he was already a highly established musician, fantastic, and David Letterman was driving somewhere and heard him play, and like basically had never met him. Told his production staff, he's like, "I want that guy on the show Friday if you can get him." Put him on Letterman's show, and he played his like 2 super famous songs. And they're interviewing Darius, talking about how he got his break,
Right.
and he was like, that changed the entire rest of my
What did
life.
you hear? What did you listen to?
where did he hear?
Letterman just heard him,
Yeah.
and was like thought, because they always have a musical guest on the show,
whatever.
and then he had him on there because he just thought it was great. He heard like one of his hit songs.
And I'm sure it was fantastic.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
if he would have like rushed to try to just be famous and put out some garbage. that
Oh
would
no,
have
he was
never
already a
happened
great
for him.
musician,
Yeah,
no
exactly.
doubt about it. And Letterman
Yeah.
realized that. But my point is
Yeah.
that I guess my point is that all these levels, and I'm saying this because like people, I get these questions sometime out, and you know, because people that see this later and stuff, and all these like levels. There's absolutely nothing wrong with like skipping the line. If you know, like
You earn it.
it's not really skipping the line. It's like, you know, you get recognized, and then because I do think that's really important. There's you know, if you're a really famous person and you're out there and you recognize people, I think it's really important that you take the time to like take some action on people you see and recognize as good or you like, whether you're the only person that thinks they're good. But I think it's important to take some action with that, because you know, it may seem unimportant to a famous person, but a tiny little thing like a Letterman saying, "Hey man, get on the show Friday."
Right.
You know, that's nothing to him. He's going to have a guest every Friday for the last 25 years, dude.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not a big deal, right? But if he loves it, like to take that action and do it. That's all I'm saying for anyone, you know, like, and us just in general. You know, us, we're all at different ages, right? So, you know, there's only so much you can do at each level depending on what pull you have.
Right.
But I also think even if someone's not like a super famous guy, and y'all are just maybe in different circles. Like you guys are a lot more house or drum and bass than I am, certainly. And I've got a lot more breaks history leaning, even though I like a lot of what you guys do, and we all have some little crossover, right?
Right.
But I think even just there, it's important to recognize, hey, I've got some buddies, you know, girls, guy friends, whatever, in the music scene, and maybe they're over there banging away at Omnia. As an opening DJ, and I'm over here at Basement, and then I got friends that are at Burning Man, and we're all maybe similar level or whatever, a couple font sizes within each other. I think it's important to recognize even that and help, you know, or at least talk about like, how could I maybe help you meet my people and vice versa.
Right, exactly. Well, I feel like there's
even if you're at the same level.
Right.
Yeah.
I feel like there's two sides to the coin. I mean, there's the technical level and creating like a name for yourself, whether it be from technical skill or producing or DJing, and then there's also the social aspect of it.
Yeah.
And that's what I feel like a lot of people complain about. It's just like, oh, well, it's just a popularity contest. Well, yeah.
Life is, man.
Yeah, exactly. It always is. So you got to be good at your job, but you also have to be popular. You want to be school president? Well, you got to be, I don't know how school presidents do. I never did it. But basically, I mean, I
can tell you what the secretary did.
Yeah, exactly. So there is there's two sides to the coin, and I feel like you have to be conscious of both sides. You have to be doing something within your niche, or I hate to say it, but like be somebody, like, you know.
Well, and occasionally there's a complete hoser that slips through the cracks of all the stuff we're talking about.
Right.
And I think that's the worst example, especially for younger people, because they see that and it's like, I need to do that. It's like, no, dude, don't. You don't, because it's such a small percentage of people that become you know are Diplo or become Diplo the brand,
right?
Versus the guy, right? It's such a small percentage that do that.
Whoa.
If you invest any time in being a wanker, it's like with almost certainty probably going to result in bad things in your life.
Right. Exactly.
Whether it's music or anything else, right?
Yeah. That's a fairly safe assertion. Sure. Don't be a wanker, everybody.
Don't be a wanker.
Nobody likes
a wanker. What do you think? What do you think, Kelly?
First.
No one else needs to throw cakes.
Is that no more cake throwing?
No more cake throwing.
Yeah, I want to go see Steve Aoki. He was at Omnia this past weekend.
Dude, I saw him in the Del Mar Fairgrounds like 4 years ago, and he was like, "If you want to get this cake, get on somebody's shoulders." And we were like really far away from the stage, and this girl in front of me,
on your shoulders?
No, not very yelling, but this girl in front of me gets on her boyfriend's shoulders. I'm like, I don't think he can throw that far. Like, what are you doing?
He has a cake gun.
They all want it. No, I mean, but like 4 feet.
What if he didn't?
He can throw
it pretty far.
He can throw cake. There's a video, and everyone should look this up.
He has practice. Okay, you say it, and I'll look it up.
He practices. Please look it up, Kelly.
Look it up too. There's a video of Steve Aoki throwing a cake at a dude in a wheelchair, probably 50 yards out. Like this dude is far, and it's a point of view shot, and he nails him like direct.
The dude was happy, like he wanted to be hit, right?
Yeah,
he wanted to be hit.
His buddies lifted him up on the chair.
That's awesome.
Everybody had a good time.
It's a fun video.
I don't have.
I don't like cake.
You guys, none of you guys
it's
have a
in your
problem
nose.
with like the spectacle stuff, right? I mean, how do you feel about that? Like,
It says
I mean, I
80.
feel that he already paid his dues to the point that he was
I
already
didn't
playing big
know. The only
shows.
thing I didn't like is
started
Steve
doing
Aoki. I'm talking to you right now. The only thing I didn't like is when you like go up to the DJ booth and act like, oh damn it, I have to mix right now so I can go back to my other shit.
to my cake
Like,
throwing.
yeah, it's like you shouldn't look upset that you have to go mix a tune. Like you're already mixing into a tune that already has a pre-mixed
He might just
recorded
look
mix,
angry,
and it's
like,
actually.
but he may
tunes.
just look a little bit angry by default.
No,
Because
he's stoked when he's throwing kicks.
Oh,
Just not when
okay.
he's mixing.
Yeah.
I don't think you should be jumping off 2 stories onto a raft full of people and breaking girls' necks.
I'm
That's
a-
what I don't
I mean, I don't follow his feed, but
Is that a lawsuit?
but generally speaking,
Yeah.
That
like,
happened here at the Hard Rock in San Diego.
Yeah,
He
that was-
climbed up some rafters, jumped onto a raft full of people. You know, there's people under there.
yeah.
And just the guy was
ocean is
falling,
the
and he
people.
broke some girls' necks.
Actual live people underneath that.
Yeah, exactly. It's not water. It's not like, oh my god, I missed.
Yeah, it's
Like,
not
no.
actual surfing.
Yeah,
Steve.
exactly. I'm holding it.
Oh, so we need to take a quick intermission to talk about these chips.
Yeah, Jesus Christ.
The hipster flavored chips. I love Hawaii, and I don't know if these have anything to do with it other than on the bag.
No.
Jesus.
Crispy and crunchy and gluten free, fresh and aromatic.
I love you.
I love it.
Aromatic.
It's such an interesting marketing thing, right?
I've
Like
never heard.
sweet and tangy ginger.
He's,
Aromatic.
When do you ever refer to chips as aromatic?
Right
Come
now.
on.
Never.
New ones. Is it a
Matty Ladd says that that ginger is a hipster flavor. On that note, let's go with let's go with 10 terms that are hipster terms. Number 1,
North Park.
Number 2, Portland.
Craft beer.
Oh.
Craft beer.
Craft beer is a hipster term,
I don't know.
or they like it. They definitely like it.
They definitely like it.
Yeah.
No,
What are those little sling?
Craft
pouches
beer is
called?
like craft beer to hipsters is like bees on
like
honey. Man.
No. What are
They're
those
meant to be
sling?
like-
What are those sling pouches called?
Pomade.
Fanny packs?
No, I wear fanny packs, but you can call this if you
I
want.
don't know. You might be a hipster, dude.
No, dude. There's a certain like Kelly. Could you maybe look up, see what comes up first if you type in hipster in Google?
Top 10 hipster.
Oh, I'm still on wheelchair cakes. Okay.
Weird
Beard balm.
beard bomb.
Gluten free.
Let's see real quick.
Ginger. Yes.
Man.
Top 10 hipster terms.
Amaze balls.
15 hipster words you need to be cool.
Yes.
I need to
Let's
be
hear it.
cool.
Let's hear
All
it.
right,
I
let's
need to
check
be
it
cool
out.
ASAP.
Dude, there's a hipster handbook. This is awesome.
Yeah, that's where I'm at. Okay. Hipster handbook.
Balls is the first one.
Amaze balls is the first one. Thank you, Kelly.
We're at the same one. Yeah.
That dress makes your eyes look amaze balls.
Amaze balls. I could totally see you saying amaze balls though. That could be
That's a Brian Millar term.
a you term.
Number 2, totes.
Totes my
Totes.
goats.
Totes.
It's the goats. Yeah.
Like totes of lords. That I like. I do like.
I think- Is
That is
here's
totes
the
story.
example.
Is that
I think he's
hipster
a
now, or is that just like-
douchebag. Totes. That's the example.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, okay. I thought it meant like totally. Like, oh, that's totally adorable. Totes adorbs.
Oh, this is I've never even heard this one out. Number 3, aux. AWK. Do y'all know what that means? Aux.
These are just awkward. It's just abbreviations
Ah,
of words.
I realized my shirt was tucked into the
They are
back
not
of my
necessary.
undies. Totes aux. That's
Totes
weird.
aux.
I think these are just like
It's because
airhead-
hipsters don't have enough
No,
time.
is this hipster
Deep-
language though?
Number
Or is
4.
this just airhead language?
Number 4.
I think another one is and I do it is adorbs.
Yeah, see, that's what I said.
Adorbs.
Totes
I don't
adorbs.
think these are hipster,
Totally
though.
adorbs. And
Don't have
extra.
enough time.
And I also say that too, I guess. Maybe I'm a
Oh, wait a minute. This is okay, so this is on the hipster. This is the top 5 in this hipster word list.
I mean
But
first Google search. Mm-hmm.
in this list is actually a hipster of them making the list. Grill. And they use it. He was all up in my grill. That is an appropriate in hip hop culture.
Yeah, that's
period.
not. Yeah.
Which is a very hipster thing to do.
Like, I was the first one to start using grill in 1990.
There's a goes out of style and just adopt the word.
LOL. Sorry.
You can't take that.
Well, I
You
mean,
can't take that.
have you-
My bad.
I've
Come
been saying that
on.
forever.
I honestly think that list is a little bit outdated. You should probably
I
go
think
a
it's
little bit further down in the Google search.
Yeah, it's 20. Yeah, that was a
I love you for
2015
that.
that I found.
How about,
It would need to be maybe
how
like
about Burning
past
Man?
year.
That's a good one.
Burning Man's a hipster term. Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's
I was actually talking about Burning Man. He was like, yeah, I heard they had this crazy festival out there where everybody just throws a bunch of drugs out in the middle of the desert. Sounds crazy.
It's like drugs and naked.
like,
It's like drugs and
it.
naked chicks, right? And
Yeah,
some dude jumped into the fire.
I love hearing about it from the perspective of somebody who doesn't know anything about any kind of music scene. It's just, to them, it sounds like insanity.
It is insanity, but why would you do drugs out there? It's a fucking desert. It's trying to kill you.
Do y'all have any desire to?
Tell people.
None of y'all have been, right?
No.
Burning Man.
I
You have any desire to go?
Yeah,
I want to go, but I don't want to be there for like a month or like. I want to go like 3 days.
You're on the
Every
West
month.
Plan. He doesn't just go for a day.
I'll
Like,
give it 20 days.
I feel like being there for like 3 days. By the third day, I'd be like, dude, I am sick of all this dirt and it's hot out. I was born in Arizona.
You'll be sick of that by like the first 10 hours.
Yeah, there's so much dirt everywhere.
Yeah,
I need to go buy some water. I can't buy anything.
100%.
Get the barter.
All right, I have a question for you guys. What which may or may not be of interest to anybody other than me. When being part of United by Bass / We Love to Party / SD Union / all those things, we've had Tyler on here before. He's been on here before. Yeah, he's a lot of
I
fun.
think he's listening in. Hey, Tyler.
Yeah.
What's up, buddy?
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
MC
And,
Rita.
we haven't had Brandon on here, but we had Tyler on like maybe a year ago. It was cool, like episode 10 or so. Thank you. We talked about drones and things. It was awesome.
Drones are pretty
But what so along those lines, like what's it kind of like to do, like to be part of a crew that's throwing a lot of parties? They're doing one like every other week this year.
Yeah.
Maybe 3 weeks, something like that. All good stuff.
Yes.
And what do you kind of like? What's the experience kind of like? Like, what do you do? Like for the production, like how do you help out? Like what's it kind of, you know?
It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work by everybody involved. Everybody from the finances to the working the door to setting up to visuals, and it's just a lot of work all around. And it's a pretty cool experience when you see it all come together at the end of the day.
Do you think that helps you like both be part, you know, like both sort of advance yourself within the music scene, but also learn about, right? Because you're working with other people that are
Exactly.
your colleagues and peers, right?
You're working with other people, and you also get, I feel like you get a different sense of just like, oh, I'm just going to a club, because you throw the event. So at the end of the day, you're standing back and you're watching it all. So it's kind of like, I feel like when you just go to a club or something like that, like you're in it, like you have no idea what's going on, like you're there to party with your friends. But when you throw the event, you kind of like, you know, you get a different perspective of it.
Yeah.
You see like, oh, this didn't work, that didn't work. These people weren't having a good time because of this, or these people had an amazing time because of this. Like you just get a whole different perspective of it. So I feel you get as far as helping you, I feel it does help you a lot, because you can see what parties you want to be related to. I don't want to be a part of this party. I don't want to be a part of that party, because you know
the way it's run, or
exactly
whatever.
the way, whether it be the way it's
way it's
run.
produced.
Things you wouldn't notice if you were just on the dance floor. Like if you've been like in our situation for a little bit, you start to then go out to other people's parties and like notice things you would have never noticed before.
Be like, yeah, exactly.
So if someone's like on the entertainment side, DJ, producer, whatever, and looking to do performance and shows, you think it's a good idea that they could, go be part of like a crew and kind of cut their teeth in that area?
So.
And
I don't think it can hurt. I mean, it just like
it's only going to help you. It's only going to help you see if you want to be involved with that scene or not, because I feel like each city has its own different type of scene. It's all different type of politics. And once you get in there, you get a taste of it.
Yeah, and as an artist too, you get to see. I'm not to cut you off, but as an artist, you get to see what the promoters like. If you
you cut him off.
I did. I know.
It's okay. People just have to talk over other people.
He's gonna leave you with some crazy song.
I don't even know what else to say now, guys. No, I think I was saying, shit. What was I saying? No. If you're just an artist, like if you're in a crew, you get to see now like what the promoter has to go through. So now you kind of have more of an understanding of all the things besides just the element you play. You get to see how all the chess pieces have to fall into place for a good play to happen. Where if you were just an artist and never had that crew experience, you might not necessarily have the same understanding of what's going on in the night. You know?
It's like seeing the guy put the Mickey Mouse head on. You know that guy now, and you have a respect for him because he is Mickey Mouse. It's like the magic behind
funny,
Disneyland.
Dude. Yeah,
kids know.
I would, I would agree. I mean, like doing this, like
Javier is really Mickey Mouse,
right? Like more recently, the stuff I've done. Well, that's why I was out of Burning Man like almost 30 days, right? Was helping a camp do stuff, and it was this project I thought was cool.
Yeah.
But you really, outside of the DJ and the show perspective, like similar with that kind of thing, you really, like you just have a patience that you might not have had before you did that.
Yep.
And also I think for me, maybe that patience is also giving a little more time to understanding something that may look like a shenanigan on social media or whatever, right? Like, like an approach to like being like, okay, this definitely looks foolish, but maybe there's more to it, right? I think, once you've helped build stuff from the ground up, because right? Like, that what do they call it? The wall, the projected wall, the mapping.
Yeah.
Like, that didn't just, that's not part of Spin Nightclub.
Right.
But nobody else does.
Yeah,
really.
exactly.
I mean, maybe 80% don't have a clue that wall of all that orchestrated stuff was people promoting the party.
Exactly.
Right? But you do now.
Yeah.
And so when you walk into a venue, whether it be Vegas or club or EDC or small thing, you kind of know, like, oh, someone had to like
the production
do certain things to make this, decoration happen,
right,
or whatever it is, and maybe a little more patience with things and stuff. Kelly, you still there? I don't even know if we're live anymore.
It says live on my phone.
Mine was flipped over looking at top 10 hipster terms.
Are we live? Yeah, we're live. We're good.
All right, D, we're all from San Diego except for Kelly. So for people that now or in the future, as they're driving to wherever they're driving and have downloaded this podcast and are like, at this point, an hour and a half in, going, man, I sure hope they talk about something useful to me at some point.
So yes,
Flip to the other show.
But we're all just head on over to Joe Rogan, skip the ads. We're all from San Diego, so let's give people a few things we like about San Diego, man.
Yeah.
Matt, go for it.
I'm very thankful coming all the way from Orange County. It's very far. Very far. All 48 minutes. I'm thankful that there's beautiful beaches with good waves to surf still, because that's kind of crucial in my life.
You do surf, yeah.
Where's
your favorite spots?
Ever since I really started playing out, I haven't been dedicating as much time to surfing and kind of sitting around and smoking pot like I used to, but I definitely still do enjoy it a lot. Around here,
by the way, kids, trying to DJ will ruin your life.
Yeah.
It will ruin everything else.
Pretty much.
Relationships, eating habits, focus on anything else.
All of it.
All the things. Kelly will also agree. Pop that gun.
Pop it, man.
What are some places if I'm a surfer and I come here from somewhere else, where would I go?
I'm still working out
There's
those
a couple
kinks.
spots.
I'm still working out those kinks, actually. But I did find out that people just kind of go to OB and go to PB to surf because
they do.
It's around here and it's
right there.
easy.
Yeah. It's like not even a block away.
I spent 2 weeks ago. I spent the week camping at San Lejo State Beach.
Right.
That was nice. It's good spots.
Surfers out there
like
too,
4.
right?
Yeah, and during the week, that's my pro tip, dude. During the week, it's time to go. Yeah, between sun up, which right now is about 6:30ish, and between that time and about 10:30 before the wind kicks up, you could go out at the 4 or 5. There's like starting at moonlight, kind of more Lucadia, and then coming down. There's like 3 different ones that are pretty obvious when you overlook San Elijo that you can see. And then there's that river mouth. I don't know what the name of it is. Like one of them's Pipes, and then that river mouth. I don't know what they call it. It's Cardiff, but I don't know what the name of the actual break is. Oh. But anyway, you can definitely know more than 10 people out there between 6:30 and 10:30, and
on a weekday.
Yeah,
nice.
Which is totally open, very friendly.
Nice.
Yeah.
San Diego.
Yeah.
My favorite thing about San
Surf
Diego
stuff. Yeah, go for it, man.
is that it's not LA.
Yeah. Also
damn, dude, way to be positive.
Real. And that's pretty cool.
Interesting though, growing up here though. Like from what age were you when you moved here?
I was in 2nd grade, so whenever you're in 2nd grade.
So young enough to switch from not knowing anything to knowing something.
Yeah.
Teenager, middle school.
I don't know what it's like to grow up in Arizona. I didn't do it.
Right.
There's a lot of dirt, a lot of racing, a lot of drugs.
And same,
What I hear.
And same for you.
Got out just in time.
But so what is it about LA? For example, someone who grows up here.
It's just
The one-way streets.
What is it that's not interesting about LA?
it's overpopulated. You know, it's just grimier. It smells worse. It just seems generally less clean. There's way more traffic.
People are way more aggressive. I feel like
Yeah.
people in LA, they all have something to prove to, because there's just so many people.
Do you
It's
think
just
that's people that were born and raised there, or is it
I honestly
a
have
ton of
really-
people from other places?
I feel like people from other places go there because they feel like they have something to prove.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's almost like a little New York in terms of a destination spot
Exactly.
for people.
Okay.
And even this, just hearing this from my sister, because my sister grew up here, same thing. We both moved. She's 5 years older than me though. But then she started going to school up there, and then she was becoming a lawyer and stuff like that. And she was like, "Man, it's just like everybody, no matter what scene you're in, it's like you always have those snobs that are just like, oh, she went to USC." Like,
Really?
Yeah, like no matter what level you're on, somebody's gonna take a piss on you.
Wow.
Like and I've heard that a lot from a lot of different people. A lot of
I
different,
never
whether it
see
be
that
skating-
here.
Exactly.
Really?
Here's
No,
everybody.
I never see any kind of like caste system, for lack of a better word.
Right.
Here.
Exactly. Well, everybody
You know?
here is trying to hug each other and have a good time.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
like everybody here.
Lick the frog's back.
Right. Exactly. Yeah, dude. Here, dude. Have you ever tasted?
I feel like-
No, fuck, here you
I
go.
feel like San Diego is one of those places, a bit like New York, Kelly. I feel like San Diego is one of those places where it's like it's almost like if you're here, everyone's like, okay, you're here.
Exactly. You made it.
Because it's not totally
Big city.
inexpensive to be here,
Right.
et cetera, right? So it's like it's one of those things, right?
Every
Yeah.
time I go downtown, we're walking around drunk downtown. I'm like, we made it, boys. It's a big city. You know what
Made
I
it,
mean?
boys.
Yeah, we made it, boys.
Banger.
But yeah.
What are your
like,
some of favorite things? San
my
Diego.
favorite some of things about Diego San is
The whale's vagina, please.
no matter what you want to do, you're gonna find something to do. Like whether it is that you play music, or you go surfing, or you play soccer, or you play baseball, or
Do you guys do
you're an
anything
artist.
outside? Do you guys do anything outside of DJing?
I go to work.
I know you do. I know you guys do something. Leading question.
I go to work.
Jiu-jitsu.
I build models.
Shout out to the Sam.
Jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, he does. I build models.
Models of what?
Of they're called Gundams. It's a Gundams.
Gundams.
Yeah, they're Japanese.
Kelly, let's look this one up.
It's
How do you
a
spell that? Look them up.
Gundam. It's Japanese anime, and they have a whole line of model kits, and they've had them for years. And I stumbled upon it when I was a little kid because I was like, giant robots are amazing. And then
Oh, they're like robots.
yeah,
Yeah,
They're like
But you gotta
Transformer
make
looking.
them.
they're
But
not.
you gotta
robots.
make them.
They're
Yeah.
mobile suits.
They're like
okay.
They're what?
They're mobile suits.
I-
They're piloted by people. A robot's autonomous.
True.
Ladies and gentlemen, we've reached the point of the show where we will now go off the deep end.
Yeah, we're going off the deep end. And you
Do
wanna
tell,
know about
please.
robots,
I'm gonna open another
cyborgs?
beer, dude.
Yeah. So basically,
Jump off the cliff, man.
They're just
Tell us about it.
They're it's a mobile suits. Like you get in and you pilot it like you would a jet or anything else. But
You physically get in it?
no, not me.
Yeah,
Oh,
he builds a massive suit. He's
the
got a couple
world,
of them in his
in
That
the-
sounds like
in
I've
the
never
world.
seen one, but I kind of want to come over and do this with you.
In the anime world, that's
Tyler
what they
lifts you
do.
up in the drones.
Yeah,
Fucking-
exactly.
Shout out, Tyler.
It's very expensive hobby.
Is there a video game?
There's video games. No, but it's mostly just an anime. But the way I got into it was when I was younger. I liked doing it, and then when I got older and I could afford to buy the bigger stuff. It's
What's a smaller Gundam model?
well, they have
Si-
sizes, I guess. They build real ones in Japan, like one out of one.
Oh, I'm looking at a
yeah,
bunch.
like a one
So I'm
to
trying to
one
figure
size.
out
Like
like
one to one
scale
size.
wise. Oh,
like go just type
but
in.
what would 1-to-1 be like
Like a
with a
big
human?
ass one.
Dude, no, they're like watch.
But
type
what's
it
the
in.
basis for a one in
It's-
Gundam?
Watch, type it
50
in.
feet?
Dude. No, dude.
Life
they're huge.
size, 1-to-1.
Life size
Like, watch,
Gundam.
type life size Gundam. They build them in Japan
I'm
as
thinking
like statues
13
and stuff
feet?
like that. No, dude, these
13
things
feet?
are huge. These are like 4 or 5 stories tall. It's like a giant mech that you get.
Kelly, are you following this? Share that thing, Kelly.
I mean, I was following it, but you're the one looking it up, so.
I am, but go ahead, share. Find a cool. We're just looking at some weird stuff.
Some
here.
life-size Gundam models.
Yeah, put life
We're
size.
actually on the Gundam. We found a Gundam porn site. Sorry, folks. Different thing.
Shut.
Oh, they're big. Yeah,
Yeah,
they're like
they're
30,
like what?
I don't wanna
they're
see
like
it.
maybe 30 feet or something.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'll
exactly.
share mine, Kelly.
Oh, well, now I got it. Damn.
Oh, good. Share it. We'll show our Gundam if you show yours.
Okay,
Mhm.
this is
All
what
right.
I got.
Yeah. they're
Okay,
huge.
so you don't build those. Clearly.
No, I don't.
You're a little tough to put 'em in the
I build
chop
smaller
house.
ones, there's like I believe the sizes are like 1 out of 150, 100, 160.
Do you have any photos?
Like that?
Of some you've built?
I have some. I have like one on my phone.
Can you hold it up to one of the cameras?
Yeah, it takes me about a month to build them.
What?
Yeah, because you got.
This is why they had you join United by Base.
Because you got to sand them down. It all depends on how
dude, how come?
It all depends on how interested you
are. How heavy are they?
They're not heavy.
Paint them too.
You do paint them.
Have you
Well,
seen
you
these
could
things?
paint them.
Yeah, he's got like a little.
See, here's a little.
Do you have one currently in play?
I know there was
Look at that
sanding.
thing, dude.
I know there was sanding.
Did you see that, Kelly?
Can we see?
Let's see.
Can you see mine?
Oh, yeah. Kelly's got a really sweet one up here,
Yeah.
and then that's well, you can see it on your screen.
Yeah,
Nice.
but yeah, I mean, it all depends on how much work you want to put into it.
Whoa! Sorry.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it all depends on how much work you want to put
Where
into
do you
it.
keep it?
Yeah. Do you have one currently?
I have 2 in my room in a display case, and I have like 6 more in the build.
Will you bring one Saturday?
I will bring one. No,
Why?
because it's gonna break.
Those other
No,
boxes
we'll put it
are
in
full.
the. We
Yeah.
have a. We have a booth for a 10 by 10 for juice things.
I don't know.
I'm gonna bring the
No,
4
no.
jellyfish,
Juice things.
and we could put the Gundam right in the middle.
They're in a glass case in my house.
What?
Yeah,
Yes.
in my room.
Yeah.
If they weren't in, they take
With
a lot
LED
of time.
big glass
display lights.
case.
It take a lot of time, dude. You have to sit there. I literally.
We
like,
can't bring the glass case. Put like some safety tape.
If you saw me sitting there, you'd be like, "What are you doing?" And I'd be like, "Dude, just hold on. Just gotta sand this little guy.
I
down
can't
and
believe you have to
get a little marker and
I can't believe.
draw on
I
it."
can't believe I
And you get
never
like a little
uncovered
print.
this.
Yeah,
that would frustrate me.
How long have you been
to
doing
know,
this?
and I would
Well, I
just
started when I was in middle school, and then I took a break for a long time. Then when I got older and I was able to afford all the tools I needed,
All the tools.
yeah, because there's a lot of stuff to make it look nice and proper.
What's a typical budget for building a Gundam?
Well, you're gonna spend at least like 50 or 60 bucks on the actual model,
Grab me a mango.
and then if you
milk.
want to buy the paint or the paint kit or a spray brush, dude, you can spend up to hundreds. There's people that build and make a living out of this. They just build them and sell them for thousands of dollars.
Wow.
Just like anything. I mean, just like model ship
It's
building
funny
and
because
stuff
I
like
can't believe like I've never seen one at Burning Man. Kelly, have you ever seen one of these at Burning Man?
Ooh, that'd be like a cool art.
that. It
Well,
would
this
be
seems
like
like this is a real thing, is what
Yeah.
I'm saying. So
There's
just
a really big
it
thing.
but
Right.
clearly it doesn't have everything.
Right. I mean,
And
Japan
it's
is
interesting.
literally just building life-size ones and putting them in malls. and
We
stuff
saw
like
these
that. Yeah,
huge.
exactly. So it is a big thing.
Huh.
I mean, I always took it as like when I just need to relax at home, just concentrate.
It's like doing I was gonna say chia pets. That's not what I meant though. I meant
Yeah.
bonsai. You know, like people do bonsai, like they sit and trim them.
Yeah, exactly. Just sit
Your
there.
chi,
and
your
you
zen
have
thing,
control
right?
over what's going on right here, and I don't know.
Wow, that's cool, man.
It's a really fun thing. I remember.
So do you
I
know
remember
this
a couple
guy?
nights
Have you seen this guy? Now I know what this thing's called. There's a dude. Kelly, do you know who this DJ is that has 2 of these for live performance? And they had one when I was in Spain. They brought this thing out. It was like 16 feet tall, looked just like this, and it had a cryo tubes that came out of its arms.
But it's a person.
There was a person in
I
it,
know what you're talking
like
about.
on stilts, but
Yeah,
it looked
and
just
they
like
shoot
these
it out.
things. So
Yeah,
I assume it was
Cryo Man.
based on this.
They have him at
I
Ultra.
think
Cryo
his name
Man
is
is the
Cryo
DJ.
Man.
Yeah, that's his name. I
Yeah,
think.
Kelly, find Cryo Man. It's some shit right there.
He was at Ultra for Layback Luke like over years ago.
Yeah, because Layback Luke, I remember for when I saw him at House of Blues, and for a while he had a whole little thing because I was like, he put a visual up and I was like, that's a Gundam. I was like,
Yeah, go check it out.
I was like, that's a Gundam right there.
Check out Cryo Man's
Yeah.
Instagram, and there's some crazy stuff on there, man. Of
So,
those things.
It's definitely a really big thing.
Explains to me now why I've seen some clips on his Instagram. Huge shows in Japan.
Yeah.
Totally makes sense. I mean, it kind of makes sense anyway, but I was thinking more like Transformer, whereas this is really a whole nother thing.
It's pre-Transformer for sure.
In fact, Transformers is really based on this,
Yeah.
Probably, yeah.
and just the brand, like, Transformers
Yeah,
the brand.
because it's really big. all
Gundam is
over.
the real original, like,
It
model
originated from
science.
Japan, but it's big in all the Asian countries. It's a whole. They have contents.
Mind blown, brother.
Contests. I can't even talk anymore. Contest. They have everything.
They have Gundam eating contests.
They do. They have a.
These things are awesome. Kelly's got a good
restaurant.
picture up there.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, this
Yeah.
Cryo Man suit. That's
In
pretty
Japan, they
dope.
have a Gundam restaurant. They have a Gundam theme park.
Were you about to mention Weiss? that what you're about to mention?
No, but
Does it
he
seem like
was
you were just talking
he
about
was
that?
showing me Weiss from Dirty Bird. Played here last week, and he saw the models you guys told him about the models. He went to go look at them, and then me and him just sat there and had like a 20-minute conversation about. He was showing me all his Star Wars models that he builds, and he's building these big old Star Destroyers and Millennium Falcon. Like they're huge. Though.
Shout out Weiss, send us promos.
Yeah, exactly. He's like wiring on all the lights, and it's like looks like lasers are shooting out. And this guy, I don't know, model building is a really it is. Model building is a very relaxing thing.
For some people.
For some people, and I've had
I used to build models. But I
because-
build stuff. Look, dude. I built all this shit.
Because one day we came back to my house after a show, and some random girl showed up with this random guy, and then she saw my closet, and she's like, "You have a lot of toys up there." And I was like, "Yeah." She got you. You know what I mean? And then I tried to explain to her that they're models.
That was very mature of you.
Yeah, well, she got you. You know, but she just couldn't get the I tried to explain to her that they were toys, and she just was not having it.
He's available, ladies. He's available. That may or may not shock you, but the boy's available.
I'm available. I'm 20 years old. I got all kinds of toys, and it's gonna be awesome. You want to play?
Some of them are cryo.
I'll beat you.
Oh my god.
Woo! Bang bang. Also the name of them.
I got you, girl. Pew, pew.
I got you. Although it's always been really strange to me that they serve sushi in the same place where you rave-ish.
I know, right? It was like I want a bunch of cheese. Well,
Kind of
a
funny.
lot of people.
You really get cheese at a sushi place.
Dude,
but
yeah, a lot of people do. Dude, there's a lot
Cheese?
of cheese. A lot.
I think
There's
it's
a-
You know, it's true.
There's a
The
shitload of
you mean
trendy
cheesy
sushi-
people or cheese food?
No, the sushi.
Oh.
The trendy
Oh.
sushi is actually pretty good.
Yeah,
I know.
You've
No, I
never had
have.
sushi?
But that's why I think it's strange because you don't like if you're I am not a sushi connoisseur, but I have gone to eat sushi with people who are, and they are not going to go to a fucking nightclub
Oh,
to
no.
eat sushi.
Right,
Is my
exactly.
point.
No,
It's not going to happen.
No, it's not gonna happen.
So
But
that's
why
why it's
all
made
the sushi
strange
has
because
to
it
be
is
cheesy.
good.
It's pretty mediocre. Sushi.
It's
It's
decent.
not terrible, but
It's better than like the Trader Joe's or the Vons, in the
7-Eleven.
thing.
Here, you have sushi at 7-Eleven.
nope.
I've had it. Have sushi.
That's
at
on
7-Eleven.
purpose.
I would recommend it.
Would you actually?
On our
Yeah,
Japanese theme,
Oh.
or not really, but well, sort of, I guess, in a way. Jiu-jitsu.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's very
exactly.
much a Japanese thing. Or it
We
was
got a good
Brazilian,
team.
it was Japanese. Yeah, I had
It
been
was,
training
right? The
for
roots
a few
are
weeks.
the roots are Japanese.
Yeah, before the Gracies.
And then BJJ is a
the
adaptation.
Brazilian, yeah. Well, they adapted it because at first, I guess, it didn't suit them because it was too much based on like a bigger opponent gaining the advantage, where the Brazilian jiu-jitsu modifications kind of made it so that size was more irrelevant, and it was based on more leverage, and there was more like moves that a smaller person could do to subdue a bigger person. Where in Japan, that was a little bit lacking. It was a little bit more strength based.
All right.
Like sumo. They got
Sumo is definitely
Yeah.
Sumo,
No,
sumo
but I
is
mean,
not
that's
strength-based
their-
at all.
That's their main.
It's got nothing to do with strength.
mass based.
That's their main. That's like one of their main things.
Yeah.
Kelly can confirm that.
Isn't judo?
I don't
Judo's
know. I don't know.
I think judo is. I think many of them are.
Yeah.
There's probably some that are
Yeah.
also Chinese, but basis.
But
It
yeah.
depends on how far back you go. You can probably
Like you
trace.
said, there are no facts. Everything in this speculation.
Oh yeah, this
I
is
speculate that
this is
100%
basically like a 2.5 hour promo for We Love Bass this Saturday.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of,
Be there.
we're also going to have
Be there.
food and vendors, you guys. So it's
Right.
not just going to be artists. We failed to mention that earlier.
We'll have the jellyfish there.
We need to plug
The
that.
jellyfish will be
Yes,
there.
we'll have
We'll have
food.
fruit.
Juice
Will
food.
there be sushi?
I don't know. It might be lumpia.
I hope not.
So the Asian
Yeah.
community is being represented. There's
There
no,
probably
no
will be.
tacos though. I'm fired about the tacos, and I haven't heard a yes on the tacos.
We're also
Bring
waiting.
your own tacos. You bring your own.
I hope maybe there's a little variety in food. That would be awesome. There's a
They
little
got
variety.
the whole vegan restaurant inside, right?
Yeah, they
Yeah.
got some
That's good.
some
Yeah.
different cultural foods on the inside too.
I like their muffins. I haven't tried the cultural food, but I have had some muffins. They weren't
Muffins.
bad.
Some might argue that.
Hey, now what are your total synopsis? I don't even know why
Yeah,
this came
Michael.
to mind. Maybe because of the talking about the vegan food or something. But no, it was because you were given an advertisement. It's probably more effective than online dating, like to just give the advertisement here. But you guys have girlfriends. What's that?
I
What?
don't know.
No, you don't. They do. Well, they have more girlfriends than either you or I do at this time.
That's true.
Can I say that without offending anybody?
Trigger warning.
And they're nice people. They're awesome.
Yeah.
We can move on to another top. No, my question was just about like how it is, and you know, it's nice. They go out. That's how I know them. I mean, I see them. They're part of the scene.
They're well learned party goers.
They love it. They seem to. They're always having a good time.
They know what's
great.
going on.
It's cool.
Mine is a hybrid vegetarian vegan. If that's what
it might have been. It might have been.
If that's what reminded you of it, maybe that's what led us to this. But it's been fantastic. They are well versed in the scene.
She just moved down to San Diego too.
Yes, my girlfriend did just move down to San Diego, and she's well versed. They're both well versed in the scene. They're very conscious and aware and responsible for the vibe that they bring. So it works out very well.
I think it's awesome, man. Yeah. Like my last girlfriend was awesome, but not into it at all, and it definitely makes that difficult.
Interesting.
Because there's an amount of time that like if you're not if whatever consumes probably the majority of your discretionary time is something that like the other person in your relationship is not interested in, then it also means that from their perspective they probably have something they're into that you're not. Right. And so it's not like, I'm not saying it's just about me. It was like it's just a different situation. Right. It's hard to navigate. It is. That's what I'm saying.
It's very hard.
So I think it's kind of cool because I do see you guys, girls out more often than not. Mm-hmm. You know. Yeah. That's a good. Barring yours was not living here, but now that she is, see.
Yeah. That's a good point.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I went through the whole phase for some reason. I don't know. I don't want to.
Well, it's also tough. No names, but it's also tough. Like maybe more on the single side of it, right? It's also tough if you start to date somebody who, let's say, like has a steep learning curve. Right.
Nice. Well put.
Yep. Was that good? Yeah. And this goes for guys or girls. We're just happen to be 4 guys. But Kelly, what about you, Kelly? Would you agree with that? Like, is it if you meet a guy and it's they don't know anything about, let's just say drum and bass or whatever, rave culture, Burning Man, all of it, right? That's a steep learning curve, right?
Definitely.
Like if they come up to you and call it bassy EDM.
Hey, Kelly's leaning. Yeah, she's leaning.
She was.
Well, it's been so long. It's been so long since we gave legitimate relationships. Like maybe episode 5.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to say that would be a definite hard sell. Listen, I'm too old to teach, so you got to know something. You got to know something. You can't.
You can't tell me you don't run into some that want to be taught. I finally got her to turn as red as the opposite of her blue hair.
No comment.
Audio of this later. Please go watch the video of Kelly at this very moment. He's almost matching the red and this logo of the shirt she's wearing.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. You know what? You're absolutely right. I cannot deny that.
We'll just zoom away from that topic, right? It just
great job. There's some sound effects.
You can tell when someone's ready for SeaWorld fireworks. You can tell. Hey, that's one of my favorite things, I think, for people that come here. SeaWorld? Not so much SeaWorld, and I don't really care about the whole animals debate, but the fireworks thing they have every night is kind of cool during the summer. It's cool. And here's one of the 2 things where you can do the same kind of activity. You can actually take a boat out into Mission Bay, or you can paddleboard out there. I paddleboard a lot. And you can go on the water and watch the fireworks.
I saw a UFO.
Something that a lot of people don't know.
I saw the only UFO I ever saw was in Mission Bay.
Oh, good job.
There was 2 of them.
Huh.
It was totally unexplainable.
You sure it wasn't the moon jellyfish?
Okay. All right. So
in the bay?
So let me explain. So you can do this thing where you take this pump gun and you can pump it into the sand in Mission Bay, and these little shrimp things will come out, and you have to catch them. They're really good bait. So it's you were gonna go fishing the next day, so you're collecting bait at the bay.
You fish?
No, I mean it's fun.
You're Jesus, dude. You don't need to fish.
Hey.
So we're doing that, and we're collecting little shrimp guys. And there's some people out on the bay. It's at night, and we look up into the sky, and I saw what I thought was a plane on fire. because there was clearly flames and something flying, and it was headed down. And we were all, and people were out of
It
their
was Jay
out of their
Flip coming
beach
in for a
houses.
show.
Oh, did you just bring it back to the whale? Sorry.
Yeah, it was Jay Flip coming in for a show.
She's here. She made it.
She's
Oh,
out.
God, that was hard. So what the fuck was that shit? What was it?
We'll never know. I don't know. I mean, people came out of their beach houses, and I was like standing amongst like 15, 16 people. You know, we're all like, we're all sitting there on the beach, and we're looking up, and we think it's a plane about to crash because it was obviously on fire. So what we see is a plane headed down towards the city, and we're like, oh my, like this is terrible. And everyone's like, oh, you know, the sounds people make when you're gathered in a group.
Yeah.
So that's
Well, that's not exactly what that sounded like, but sure.
hey, you know, choose your own adventure,
But yes,
guys.
everyone's
Choose
like,
your own adventure.
okay, fair enough.
And it kind of leveled out and just started hovering before it eventually just started going back up into the atmosphere and just took off. And
So it never came down.
It
to
never
Earth.
came down. It leveled out and then took back up. And then like 5 minutes later, a second one did the same, followed the same exact path. I mean, it could have been something military, but I just can't imagine why it would be on fire. And it was just a little weird.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I don't know why, unless it was something that appeared to be fire because of maybe some kind of big jet stream or
Flare gun?
kind of cloud condition that made it look that way.
But the fact that everyone on the beach was like,
But it looked like orange fire.
yeah,
not like
absolutely.
smoke.
I mean, you could see the flames lapping. You know how you can see them moving around. Like, it was weird.
I don't think aliens.
I don't know, man.
Fire propulsion.
UFO doesn't mean alien. It just means unidentified flying,
That's
whatever.
true. That is very
That's
true.
true.
Yeah.
Good point. It doesn't have to be from another planet. It's
Right.
just
Well,
something that's
at that-
probably
at that
not
point,
FAA approved.
If you don't know what a
Object.
fucking airplane is, you might be like, that's unidentified. Like, so, you know.
It's true. Eh?
Sorry,
That's-
Yeah,
That's
if
very-
you're like
very
in
flexible.
Aboriginal Australia
Yeah, that's a
1,000
UFO.
years ago,
Yeah,
that's
a regular
correct.
airplane.
You
Yeah,
might be
to him,
just like
UFO.
that.
exactly. I mean, it could be something we don't know about now. You know, but it was very confusing to everyone on the beach. That's what I'm saying.
I agree.
This was how many years ago?
2. I think
Huh.
2.5, 3 years. I don't remember.
Did you catch any fish?
back to
No,
the fish.
no. The
Let's
shrimp,
go back to the
That's
shrimp part. That was
the
pretty
shrimp
cool.
were really cool. We
Back
had
to
we
Dick
had fun.
What
getting
kind of
bit by
shrimp
the
are they? Like, do you know the name of them?
I have no idea what they were called.
Let's look them up, Kelly. It's
Yeah.
like
So this
you
is
get 'em
also,
out-
this
Yeah,
is
you-
also the story of
Like a little fishing store. We went and
It's
got.
gonna be like mission-based shrimp.
one of my most fun
What are
things.
they called?
Kelly, let's see what you come up with. I'll see what I come up with. I'm going to type in shrimp,
Try bait. You have bait.
sand, pump. Let's see what
Oh,
images
that's
we
exactly
get.
what we use.
And it comes up.
Yeah.
oh shrimp.
They're
Oh,
called.
shrimp puppet.
Shrimp.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool little guys.
It's already sounding super.
Matt, how about you, man? Are you into fishing?
Like a crawfish.
Here's Collin. This is young Collin before he got into EDM, dude. Let me share this. This is young Collin before he got into electronic music. Hold on.
Oh, no.
Kelly, you ready for this?
Wait, hold on. I gotta pick the right camera. Yeah, I'm ready.
We found him. That's young Collin
Oh,
before he
yes.
before he got into
Oh,
EDM. we got a company called Squid Co.
Oh, jeez. Back in the day.
That logo is unfortunate.
Sold that, and then he became an EDM DJ.
Boom.
That's awesome.
Shrimp on a stick.
It's a dream.
Oh man, that's funny. How about you, Kelly? You've been to San Diego once.
Once.
I've been to San Diego probably 4 times.
At least once since I've been here.
Yeah, at least once since you've been there. My best friend, her father and her stepmom lives there. So we used to go there when I was in school. And you said Cardiff. I think we ate at like Cardiff by the Sea or something. Does that sound familiar?
Yeah, it's a great little area.
Yeah, fancy. And,
Yeah, fancy.
yeah, no, I've been to San Diego a few times.
Matty, that's fancy.
I love San Diego. Great place.
Are you planning on moving sometime? I saw your Facebook post and you were talking about trying to move to some spots.
Yeah, actually, I'm coming out in December and I'm checking out a couple of spots. But
What spots?
I'd like to move someplace that is a little bit warmer than where I live right now because New York City is not the warmest place in the world, and it's a little bit warmer than where I'm from, upstate New York. But I live on a boat, and I'd like to live on a boat.
That's sick.
Do you have a picture of your boat, Kelly? Do you have
That's
a
a
picture from
boat?
the outside that we
Yeah,
can
hold on.
see? Boat, dude.
Oh,
Do you have a picture from the outside, Kelly, that you can
Swag.
show?
Pretty cool.
that is
It
cool.
looks like
I
a
don't think people appreciate that you live on a fucking houseboat.
It's pretty sweet from what I've seen.
I want to.
So is there slight constant motion of the ocean where you're at?
Yes.
I didn't mean to do that, by the way.
yeah.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
Yeah, there is actually since we've been here, a storm has kind of kicked up and it's gotten a little bit weird since like we actually started. So yeah, it's if you like when you see me like this, I'm like this. It's because the wind is just completely picked up or whatever.
You're saying right now, or
Yeah, right now it's
You ever
Yeah.
have a hard time sleeping because it's like that or no?
No, I live in like it's a protected inlet, so it's not very bad. It's not like I'm on the New York Harbor or anything like that. I'm in Brooklyn, and I'm pretty far down near the ocean.
you have that picture of you and I that we took outside of your place? I think you can see a few of the houseboat, like your neighbors in that picture.
I mean, I do, but man, that's pretty specific for me to do on the fly here. You know, I'm not. I don't work magic.
We still got some hipster chips left.
Yeah, we get.
We're getting on them.
Have a phone charger?
Hey guys, what about your? While she's looking for that, what about your
Got part of a phone charger.
what?
Well, it's half one.
Speaking of the beaches where we are in Pacific Beach. Speaking about things
Great
people
place.
come, do things. Nice place. Avenue. Aside from a couple parties we've done, Avenue PB has done some things. Shout out to that
Some good
cruise.
stuff going on.
Who
Right
are the? I don't know all the crews involved. So how'd that come about? Who's the crews involved?
That's
Give
the
a
new
little
spot.
shout out.
Stay Bad.
Yeah, give a little
Stroud
shout out.
Central. Drive Out West. What's that other one? There's two more. There's two more that I'm forgetting.
Dude, don't ask
Ghetto
me.
something.
I know, but
We were just talking
Avenue,
about there.
the Avenue in PB is definitely switching up. They went from, I heard the dude in charge went from enjoying mainstream, top 40 type stuff. I heard he went to a party, saw house music, and ever since then he's flipped the script, and it's been kind of a mecca on Thursday nights for
Good for him.
house and techno.
yeah.
It's a mecca.
Techno and
It's a mecca
PB.
for the college kids and the people out and that are just because in PB it seems like it's always been a top 40 kind of crowd. Like
No doubt.
you want to
No
listen to
doubt.
hip hop, you want to listen to whatever on the radio.
Or like beach reggae vibe.
Exactly. So it's a.
Awesome.
I feel like for the people, it's a nice little coming out there and be like, oh yeah, they play techno here. They play like nobody was playing techno. They're playing some sort of house.
Yeah.
But they're not
Definitely not techno, but
Yeah,
it's
they-
okay. We'll go back 30 years.
Right.
We'll get the
They
definition.
don't know the difference.
It's
between
all right.
Everything else.
They're not on Beatport.
But it's a good thing to have because like you're introducing new people to the vibes. You're kind of showing them because everybody who's there
Absolutely.
is bringing their crew
I mean,
and curating their own vibes. You know what I mean? Everybody's nice. Everybody's relaxing.
oh wow. Yeah.
Look at that boat picture, man.
That's my boat. That's the back of my boat.
Back of it. It's pretty
And I
sweet,
guess-
dude.
I mean, really the reason why I like, sorry, it's a complete interruption there, but really the reason why I want to move someplace where it's warmer is because I like to bike and I like to kayak. I do things other than just DJing. And
Yeah, you spend way too much time inside in New York. Having lived there, I can say that.
Yeah.
You just
I
there's
like to
far
garden,
time-
obviously. Yeah.
Yeah, there's just far too much time of the year that you spend inside or want to be inside because of
Right.
weather related. That's
Exactly.
why I don't
I
mind
choose
having.
to be inside.
I never miss it having left.
Yeah.
Yeah, love to go back, but I like to go back on my terms when it's the right climate.
It's hard work to
Yeah.
enjoy the outdoors over there.
Definitely.
I went there a few months ago on my way to Europe, and we were there for one
Didn't
night,
you almost get robbed?
and it was, my buddy did get robbed.
Yeah. Oh, he did. That's right.
In Madrid, although I was a lot more fearful for my life in New York than I ever was in anywhere in Europe.
Oh
Out there, you didn't even
They
know
don't look like they just
even know you get
well,
robbed.
True.
It could be a
In New
false
York, they
yeah.
don't care.
It could be a false sense of security, but they just don't look as fucking badass.
Well, in New York,
Outside
I
the
feel like in
US.
New York, somebody will pull a knife or a gun
Yeah,
on you and be like, "Give me your money." In Madrid, you'll be out there, be like, "Oh shit, I got
A lot of it
And
probably
they give you a hug and just
yeah.
steal
So a
your
lot of
wallet.
it probably has to do with like our cinematography. like with what we see in movies and what we associate with gangsters, which is terrible because we all know that that's probably not really true. It's a lot of stereotyping, but you don't see, you know, like in all the movies we grew up with that are violent movies, you don't see like it's not like they go from a stand where they're selling, you know, salted ham to a Spanish gangster knifing you. It happens.
True.
But you don't see it that way,
Yeah,
so I
I
think
mean,
like that depiction, you know, is like that.
This
Yeah,
sounds
Ron,
really good now.
Ron Burgundy approves.
What a guy.
That was a good picture, Kelly. Do you have another one from the other side?
No, and I'm looking for the one of us, and I've got all these pictures of us, but I can't find that particular one. But yeah, so what we were saying and what Wes was talking about last time when he came to visit, he stayed down here for a day, and he was talking about like the peace out picture. Like, when do you get to the point in your career and what you do in life where you just put the peace out picture on?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We can have a conversation about that.
Yeah. So like you have to like make the decision at some point in your life that you're just gonna put the picture up and it's gonna be this, and then you're just out.
We took a picture. She may find it, but we took a picture, and I told her when we took it, I was like, "This will be my peace out picture."
Yeah.
Like, if I just, like check out one day.
So
I told Kelly and Colin, I said, if you ever hit all the websites and this is all that's there,
Yeah, you're done. It's over. It's game over.
you'll just know. Like, don't try to find Wes.
Yeah.
He's lifted out. He's out of here.
Wow.
If you have a case, if you
Is
have a
that
case,
a 9-foot phone charger?
it is.
Wow.
We that's how things work.
favorite picture.
Oh, look at that, Kelly.
Hey.
That's Kelly at Halloween.
What were you for Halloween?
I was Wes Smith.
I love that business card. I don't know what made me do that, but I put Yo Manager. People be like, "What do you do?" I'm Yo Manager.
Yeah, I don't see the picture. It's not there. This isn't Burning Man though. I love this picture.
That was pretty funny. What dude? Well, Colin left. So what do we think? What would we improve about San Diego's music scene?
Oh man.
We gave people some fun stuff to see when
I
they
would
come
take
here.
the pillows away from the front of the speakers at Bang Bang, so it sounds good there. That would be my first thing.
The pillows or blankets?
It could be. You know, it depends on the night. I think sometimes it's both.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. What about you, Matty?
Someone's name or
You know, see change or how we could evolve?
That went over so many.
It doesn't have to be bad. Just what it.
So
I
many
got it.
people.
Well, I've been there.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, the San Diego scene, techno and house music at least, is pretty spot on. I moved here from Orange County for said reason, and mostly because Orange County is a convoluted popularity contest of shout out to all the homies in Orange County doing their thing, but
Okay.
Win that
particularly Snoop Dogg.
Get that contest. Win it.
but it's pretty good, and I think everything that I want to see happen is kind of happening. So, you know, the unification, I think that's what United by Bass is helping out with too. I think it's happening.
There's like going on right now. Like
There
it's
is.
going on.
We have a great
There is.
music scene here.
Yeah.
Great.
And everyone's getting along. a little
So I
bit.
was at a party. I was in Portland for a couple of days and doing some tech nerd stuff. And I stayed at this place called Jupiter Hotel. It was cool, super hipster. And by all definitions that we've made today,
Why is that the word? Why is that the
it
word?
was totes hipster. But what I was gonna say was I went, and so they have a it's like the property has this hotel, and the hotel sort of wraps around the courtyard of the restaurant that's also the same people, and that place is called Doug Fir, which is kind of interesting, like Douglas fir, the tree, like play on it or whatever. So, right, a super hip, very hipster, very hipster. But I would say so. My introduction to like hipsterism was when I lived in New York, so Brooklyn, like Williamsburg, and that's like I think where a lot of it. I'm not gonna say that's where it came from, but not without going back into like the 70s UK England hipster movement, like modern, like what we know North America, I think Williamsburg was certainly in the beginning, if not the origin of a lot of these things, the beards particularly. So that's kind of where, at least for me, that's where I know it from. So then
it's here.
Then I go over to Portland and this place that I was at, and it looked a lot like it, but more friendly. For example, bartenders would actually ask you what you want to drink, right? And if you didn't know something on the menu, it was very nice. You could ask, and they would explain it to you. And that doesn't happen in Brooklyn usually, at least not at that time. Maybe now it does. But it would just be like, well, fucking, how did you get in here if you don't know what a ginger snap is or whatever, right? Ginger being
aromatic.
The aromatic, yeah. The mixology.
Where is it? There it is.
And all that. But the point I was going to make was that down in the basement with an E, they had a live music club, like bands, and there happened to be, it was sold out every night. I was there 3 days, so it was sold out except for last night. So I just went in and bought tickets. I had no idea who it was. I just bought tickets. I'm like, I'm gonna go down the basement and check it out, because you couldn't go down there unless you had a ticket. So I went, and but the other 2 nights were sold out. This one was not sold out, so I figured it was something different. But anyway, no, there's like a singer-songwriter guy, acoustic guitar, one-man guitar kind of deal. And a dude is playing to like,
weird looking.
I counted the people. There's like 30. And I thought to myself, and he was from UK, but I knew nothing else other than that. And he had said he had come over and was on tour and this and that. But the funny part to me was that I was thinking to myself, there's times where I think San Diego scene, or even other places I go at mid-level shows or small mid-level shows, where there's 100 people, 50 people, 200, sometimes 1,000. Like if it's like a festy kind of thing, right? And I'll sometimes think, because of what maybe I see in social media, I'll sometimes feel like that's small. But then here I am watching this dude last night in Portland, like legit good live musician, singer-songwriter dude, like was the lead singer from some band that was more popular, I guess, and now he's doing a solo thing. But 30 people, and the dude's singing his heart out, playing his heart out, and people are loving it. Yeah. And it just like reminded me, like that's legit, dude. Like because I've been to some parties here, and we all agree, well, we'll go out and we'll think, oh, there's gonna be more people there, and maybe there's 100 people, and it's still not. I mean, you might not make money on the show, and I get the money part is there, but all I'm saying is, like,
our perspective is very skewed compared.
I've never been to a show in San Diego that's like skunked. Like literally at the last Juice Day Out, which was our worst one in terms of turnout for a whole number of reasons, there were more people at that than at this dude's singer-songwriter show, and this is like a legit talented musician.
Right.
That's their perspective. Absolutely.
Yeah. So we're very lucky. Our music scene here is great. People come out, they support. If it's 30, 40, 50 people or 1,000 people at Crossed or whatever, 10,000, whatever that thing is. So
it's true.
Right?
It's true. It's a very good point.
So I'm glad you said that, dude. Because I don't know that it's that way everywhere.
It's not.
There's probably a lot of places where you could have an empty room.
Or no room. Well, see, that's the thing about Orange County is there's no room to go to most of the time.
They have that one spot though.
There's Orange County. Let me correct me, but is LA? I mean, is Orange County? Is LA or Orange County, or no? They're different.
They're different. Totally different. It's LA, Orange County, San Diego.
Huntington Beach is in Orange County.
Huntington Beach is part of Orange County.
Got it. Okay. Now I understand where you're coming from.
Fullerton, Huntington Beach is.
Huntington has a couple little things going on. It's a lot like PB.
Yeah, I mean, that's where I came from.
Street.
Huntington is where I came from. You could compare, is it Garnett?
Yeah.
You could compare Garnett to Main Street and Huntington Beach. I've done that before. I came from Huntington Beach, but people in Orange County and Huntington Beach don't have the desire for house and techno, and along with that, the respect for a vibe that comes along with house and techno. So that's why I ran like it was on fire.
Right, because they're probably either in LA or San Diego. There's just this middle ground, it's kind of maybe a no man's land. Do you think? But I mean, they have focus, and that's massive. Like we went there, and it was
massive.
It was
but
pretty
focus
legit.
is also in the middle of like some cul-de-sac. It was right like next to like a Wendy's or something.
But I don't know how much you can expect in like Huntington, because like Huntington, Redondo, etc. Because I mean, those places, I mean, those they're towns, right? So they're like and they are legitimate part of beach surf culture history, right? And that's just what's there, right? Like, I mean, you roll into Huntington, dude. It's like Surf City, USA. I think is its actual official name.
Yeah,
I think something like that, right? So that is super strong there. Like you're there for like the ASP, like surfing tour opens. The US everybody Open. Like that's like the jam. So it's not like it's like the music part makes sense why that's not there. But Huntington as a place is really cool. Yeah. It's just not the best place if you're trying to do the music thing. Yeah. Right. Yeah, that's a good point. It's a mecca for many different things. Orange County as a whole is a mecca for many different things because it's not LA and it's not San Diego. It's kind of its own little entity in the middle ground. But it's like if you went to Encinitas, dude, and you're like, oh, let's go to Encinitas. Music scene sucks because it does suck. Yeah. Like there's zero music scene in Encinitas. Well, it's 20 miles from here.
Shelter place for the first time. We had heard that they're actually bringing some good names.
Oh,
and I saw Encinitas, and I tripped out. I was like, really?
Did you go to any parties?
We went to one of them. It was a trip, man. It took me like 30 minutes to get a drink. It was so packed.
Oh, really? Yeah. Well, so I shouldn't say there's no music scene, but there's one little.
There's one spot with some people.
But point is, Encinitas, Leucadia, Cardiff, I mean, they are definitely, again, like Huntington particularly, super surf culture oriented. Yeah. Like beach culture, yoga. I think American yoga, I think the entry point of yoga into the U.S. is Encinitas. The Western version? Really? Yeah. Like I think that's like the spot where it all like, dude, it's like, I mean, I have some friends that told me that live there, but they're really into it. Too, I mean, like, yeah, but they've got that huge. So Swami's the whole entire like surf spot and beach. Like the whole thing is named Swami's because there's that big spiritual center there, right? And there's all this yoga. They have like these big community yoga things there. Anyway, that's what I was told. I don't know if it's true, but
I love Encinitas. It's nice there. Yeah. I wouldn't mind living
there. I wouldn't either, but it's like this one tiny little strip of super expensive shit. Yeah. It's like the great place to live.
Yep. That's all right.
We're losing EvLo, man.
Dude, I started drinking too early. And it's kind of, I wanted Mexican it up with the big wigs. I wanted Mexican beer.
There's no Mexican beer here, guys.
I'm all crapped out with all these 8% heavy beers.
Your IPAs?
Look at me, dude.
He's ready to fucking pass out.
Look at me, man.
Kelly, are you still there?
I'm here.
All right. Woo-hoo. We see you. We see you. We see you.
We out here.
What do you guys? What do you guys? What do you got to do tomorrow? Oh, we got work. I just don't
work. I got to go to my Monday through Friday job.
Oh snap! I don't work tomorrow.
What?
I'm gonna. I just want to thank my mom. I want to. Thank you. We'll wrap it up. We'll wrap it up soon because the Mexican is fading.
Hey. The Mexican's always gonna be
losing a Tino.
There's no doubt. Are you gonna get the sleepy Mexican? Are you gonna get the wild Mexican? Are you gonna be like, hey man, I feel uncomfortable. Maybe we should leave. So you're trying to calm down Mexican. There's a lot of. I've experienced all of them. There's some that you want. There's some that you don't. Right now I'm a little sleepy. But hey,
but before we even go into the wrap up, I need you to explain the trap house.
Do it.
Okay, so there's trap house. The trap house.
But this is you. Hold on. Sorry. Before you do that, I have to show this. Wait. Sorry. There's all these befores. Hold on. Wait, you're our or my old?
The concept of a trap house.
Oh, the concept. That's you, bro. That's you. Okay. You see that?
That is me.
That was one of my releases a couple years back. It was a really popular one. Yeah. That's you, bro.
But I would keep my socks on a standard sock.
For me now, you are the funky agave, baby.
They got all kinds of ants down there.
I've seen Wes doing the same thing. Don't let him fool you. Oh. With his sombrero on the side of the building, pass the fuck out.
That's true. Sleepy Mexican.
Truth.
Have I had this girlfriend next to me the whole time? Watch.
Yeah.
Framed a little bit?
Yeah, dude.
Look at this girlfriend.
Your lady over there.
Pew, pew.
Gotcha.
What were you going to say about trap house?
We're going to explain the concept of a trap house.
The trap house is a term where you basically just live there with your friends. Got no art on the wall.
You had some art. You had some art at your trap house.
Most shitty art. There's you know, there's shit going. Like somebody had an idea on this wall. Somebody.
It's
had
true.
an
I know the
idea.
girl who drew it.
Your carpet is
There's no
ruined.
photo.
For some reason, you always have carpet, and it's always ruined.
Mhm.
And it's just basically where you go when you're an adult and you go and you party with all your friends, and it's should be a safe environment for well, sometimes.
I don't know about that one.
Yeah. Sometimes it's usually a safe environment.
There's
when you
hugs.
go.
Where drugs may or may not be sold.
Yeah,
from.
exactly. Or done at, and
Always. That's not
and
never
music is played loudly, and
That's one of the rules of a trap house is there is no such thing as, hey, that's too loud, turn that music down.
it is after 4 a.m. I think that's fair.
So I always like to ask a question.
More or
and
less.
I like to ask a question and then go look up the definition and see how close the guests have come without
fantastic.
knowing that I'm
Let's
going to
hear
do
it. Urban
this.
Dictionary. please.
This
Yeah,
is
thank
no,
you.
so this is
So a trap house
this
is
is
a term.
a white version
term-
offlet of
a
trap
term.
house.
This is the Southern That was the
Uh-huh.
Southern California version
Yeah.
of trap house.
Yeah.
Here's the Urban Dictionary. Term used to define crack house
Yes.
right off the bat.
Yeah.
Or
let's see what the or
hold
says.
tight.
No
or
crack was done at our
The
house.
surroundings in which a drug dealer or
Oh, okay.
trap star would
Here we go.
use to make their profit, also referred as up the way.
I like that definition.
Continuing, where drugs are sold / made. Usually in the projects of which there are none in San Diego. Not so nice neighborhoods of which there are none in San Diego. Dog, our crib is becoming a trap house. Thanks, Mom.
I think that definition is a lot harsher than the environments that we had.
Let's go with this one. A house, this is number 3. A house in the ghetto used to sell all sorts of drugs.
See,
There is only one way in and one way out. That
Yeah.
may be true without
No.
the sale of drugs.
So I heard the trap term itself came from if you went in there to get high,
California, baby.
unless you sold drugs to someone else and they made their
Oh.
money off of you. So it's like, oh, you wanted to party, you're not leaving
It's
until
like the original pyramid scheme.
yeah, it is trap house, the original. That
Oh,
at
this
least to my
sounds all
understanding,
very-
it's a pyramid scheme. If you come
Originally
in-
used to describe a crack house in a shady neighborhood, the word has since been abused by white.
By us.
Oh, sorry, they didn't say white. By high school kids from Southern Cal, just who like to pretend they're cool by drinking their mom's beer
Wow,
together
it does
and
say
saying
that.
they're part of a trap house.
Hey!
We finally uncovered it. We finally uncovered it. Pop the gun. The show is over.
We bought our own beer. We bought our own beer. We are using that term. No crack was, as far as our knowledge.
I'm not even going into definition
There's no-
5.
yeah.
Number 4, definition
Perfect.
4. It's the nail on the head.
Get it.
You guys are awesome.
Nailed it. You see this?
Is there anything else that you guys would like to share with anybody in the world? Because once it goes on the internet, it's there forever.
How much time do we have?
As much as you want, dude.
So
8 hours.
We didn't talk about.
Hey, we need a detective to calculate the time remaining. Kelly, how much time remaining?
2 minutes.
Ooh.
No, 5 hours. I think 5 hours and it is 8. Well, 8 hours I think is the limit on the Google Hangout.
I don't got
I think you
For
can
a
go
single
as long as you
recording.
want.
We didn't talk about tortilla chips and PB.
Or
Ah, do it, bro.
We
Do
gotta
it.
do a part 2.
Well, you were
We're
the
gonna
one
have to
with
do
the
a part two.
knowledge.
There'll probably be a part 2, but
So
so he's talking about.
All right,
Lead,
well, we're
lead
gonna-
it real quick, and then we'll get out of here.
Well, you were the knowledge base. What were you
I was going to talk about Antarctica, and I'm just not.
That's what no
I
one
know
else
Antarctica.
talked about
Look it up,
either.
guys.
No, check it out.
That's
check it
more
out.
than
You're
2
being
minutes
lied
worth
to.
of
No.
material.
Oh no, you've got more than 2 minutes. You go ahead. You
Look it up. There's a bunch of shit going down there that nobody knows.
In Antarctica?
Yeah. What do you know about Antarctica? Nothing.
Nothing.
Exactly.
Do.
What's going on in Antarctica?
Yeah, there's something.
EvLo knows.
There's something going
It's a
on.
big place.
A lot of stuff
A
going
lot
on.
of ice.
Yeah, but there's got to be something underneath all that ice.
There's a hole the size of Maine that has opened
So
up.
we're talking
That's what
about
that's what I was just talking about. And they don't have any explanation for it.
Yep.
Because it's in the middle.
Hey,
of the
are all you
continent.
guys UFC fans, like MMA fans? Y'all go
Yeah.
you watch fights?
Yeah.
Man, we keep jumping around topics. How the listeners gonna
No,
know
because
what's going
dude,
on.
that fucking no, that Mighty Mouse dude, man. Killer. Did you see his last fight?
Do you think he created that hole in Antarctica?
It's possible.
Demetrius?
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Awesome.
don't
You see
think I
last
saw his
fight?
last fight. No. Who did he fight?
So he's now the number one title streak defending ever
Oh, really?
in UFC.
Yeah,
13.
I know. They were talking
It
about
was
him.
Anderson Silva and GSP tied, and then he just passed.
Oh, if he was bigger, he
I
would
don't
totally
know
be like,
about
more people would consider
either
him
of
on the pound for pound.
Yeah,
guys.
yeah.
A lot of people do.
But he's done a ton for that.
Yeah.
What is it,
I mean,
125?
really-
He's tiny.
It's small. It's 125.
Flyweight?
It's got to be more 135.
It's fly or Bantam.
Yeah.
It's super light. Yeah.
Super.
But did you see the last fight?
No.
It was really good.
Right.
We should. One of the things we should. Well, he watches a lot of it. Do you? You like? You've been into it? Or you don't?
I'm half-assed into it, like I am most things in my life.
I don't train. But I'm pretty into it.
Yeah.
I know
The
a
last
lot
fight
of
I
history.
watched was the boxing one with McGregor. That was
yeah.
the last fight I watched. In Hawaii, I was there. I had to go find a sports bar.
Yeah. Dude, we should totally. We should totally do a. You know how Joe Rogan does on his podcast? He does the fight companion, and it's usually Brendan Schaub.
Yeah.
So I thought because they do it live, I thought we should totally do a fight companion too, and do it at the same time they do it, but do 5 minutes delayed and just shred everything they say. And just sit there and tweet on their shit and back and forth. Because we have some decent knowledge of it. It's not like we're just some crackheads making fun of them.
Yeah.
You know, and I like a lot of what they say anyway. Joe clearly is obviously very experienced. Brendan is too, but it's funny because him being a fighter, being a professional athlete, all that stuff, when they do the fight companion, he doesn't seem to contribute not as much as Joe, and clearly Joe is never a UFC fighter, but clearly black belt in I think
he has
jiu-jitsu
more
and
general experience.
I think he does. He has more martial arts experience,
absolutely.
probably. Yeah. Because Brandon was a football.
He was
he a football player?
NFL.
Yeah. That makes sense. Okay, that makes sense.
He's since retired from fighting.
Funny
he's
dude.
Trying to be a
he's
media
retired.
personality now, and he's been doing stand-up too.
Funny guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Are we still live? Are we still live? Are we still live?
He's just watching us.
Kelly's just when she's 3 hours ahead of us, so she's just totally dude, I got things to do.
I have to admit the last part I was
Kelly, what are you doing tomorrow?
Dude, wouldn't you rather talk about
Raiders
I'm gonna go see.
don't like when you start to talk about fighting. I don't understand why it's such a big deal.
Because it's fighting, it's violent, man.
But
at the end of the day,
but it's a sport,
enjoy
dude.
some of those conversations.
It's a sport.
Yeah,
It's not these are people that have all made a choice to
exactly, and that's what I didn't
compete
like.
with each other to make a living.
Someone argued with me about the Conor McGregor Floyd Mayweather fight. They're like, well, 'cause I argued there was somewhat of an early stoppage for boxing, and people were like, this one guy specifically was like, well, the Department of whatever told them not to make sure no one got hurt. I'm like, what? I'm like, these are both professional athletes who agreed to get into a fight that's all licensed. It's all
but did you think it was early stoppage?
A little bit. I did, because most of the time in boxing, when they stop somebody on the feet, it's after they've already been pummeled and have fallen to the ground a few times. Yeah. Even Evander Holyfield said they should at least let him fall.
Yeah, because he didn't fall. No. That's true. He didn't get the straight.
He hit him
knees.
The guy hit him. The guy hit the other guy in the face, dude.
And then it's over.
That's enough.
It was pretty clear what was going to happen.
But I just don't think the ref should make that call. I think the fighter.
Well, and as Joe alludes to quite often, it certainly at least seems to be his opinion. Again, zero facts here, but he seems to be a pretty big proponent of trying to change some of those rules to where they don't let things go.
Sure, I mean that's right?
And that makes sense.
So
maybe it's just a little bit of a leaning towards that.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Dude's got he's got a lot of influence, dude. Mm-hmm. He's got his podcast is it's top 8. That's crazy, dude.
Yeah,
he's
been killing it.
Yeah, it's crazy for someone that essentially also someone who essentially also has no facts on their podcast, right?
He's got some good people. Man.
No, he has great people. Come on, but still, none of it's none of his stuff is facts. Usually, right? And he always says that. That's why I'm having fun with it.
He always says I don't know shit. But he just tries to.
His guests. He'll have a physicist or a mathematician or whatever, and obviously
he does a good job leading the conversation.
They know their business.
He's a great host.
Yeah, dude. These guys are can we get tacos?
Oh, I'm down for that.
Kelly's we're out of here.
You asked me what I was doing tomorrow.
It's Wednesday.
Margaritas for Taco Tuesday yesterday.
What, Kelly?
I was like, you asked me what I'm doing tomorrow, and then you completely interrupted me. I am going to go.
Talk about Joe Rogan
We got the
fighting.
we got the technical host smackdown. Please, we will be quiet. What are you doing tomorrow, Kelly?
I'm going to go see Marky.
Sweet.
Marky. See, we get Marky too. Then you guys.
And then he's coming here for
Yeah,
Saturday.
yeah. DJ Marky
Okay.
is the best.
We don't get metric also, but you know.
Where's he playing at, Kelly?
I think Output. I'm not sure. Somewhere in Brooklyn.
He's also playing at We
Output
Love
in
Bass
Brooklyn.
this
It's a nice
Saturday.
I know.
Crazy.
The World Beat Center, everybody.
Beat Center in San Diego and Balboa Park.
Yep.
Well,
kid seats just $10.
Kelly, I guess we'll wrap it up, and we might have to get a bite to eat. Or is it Thursday? No, I was like we're going to PB Avenue. No, it's not Thursday.
Oh,
It's
But,
at Good Room. I'm sorry. It's Reed Speed and Marky at Good Room.
Oh, Reed Speed.
Reed.
Speed.
Yay!
I picked her up at the wrong
I almost got
time.
into a car accident because I think one of you two was playing, and I tried to hurry back, and it was bad.
I was playing.
DJ Rap. So DJ Rap was here like a week or two ago, I think, and who's shaking your pencil at me for?
Can I like swallow one of the cameras?
Next
Swallow
time,
my camera.
part two. So it was you, dude, because she walked up and you didn't know it was her, and
Oh yeah,
and she was trying to figure out how to get back to your hotel or something, I think, and then
Sorry,
I was a bystander. I was
Sorry.
not part of the event promotion, so I had nothing to do with it. But I did think it was kind of funny. But irregardless of party-specific production logistics, let's leave that out of the picture. But the conversation you and I had subsequent to that was, I do not understand, for the fucking life of me, why any DJ needs a ride to
Yes.
or from a venue.
In this day and
Yes.
age, you with Uber and Lyft, yeah, you would think.
Where I
but-
do understand Burning Man. I get that,
Yeah.
right? But you really shouldn't be going there to play for one day anyway.
Yeah, I mean,
But that's a whole different
That's
issue.
something we kind of like to do. Like I've driven the artist a bunch. We have a guy Joe Feathers who does it, but I agree. Like
Fair enough.
it's not that hard. Like we'll pay for the everything. It's not that hard. to
It
get
seems
anywhere
it
where
seems
live.
like it has
It's
become
It's a professional driver.
so it seems like okay, it's a courtesy,
Yeah, absolutely.
and that's awesome.
Yeah.
But
When they were sitting
but
there
all the
asking
gigs
me.
I played outside of San Diego, I can tell you there's enough money in the deal, and they would have given rides and all that, and I'd still just do it myself.
Mhm.
It's
It's
not that
quicker
hard,
and
It's
easier.
not- I mean, we look.
and there's no stress because you just say bye to everyone and you peace out. Done.
When I went to Amsterdam, I mean, we literally got off the plane and I was like, I don't know anything about this country. I don't know how to get anywhere, but let me pull out my phone and I'll call some Uber.
Yeah.
And then we managed to get to our hotel room from the airport, not speaking any language, just having a phone. So as long as and maybe some DJs
It's
don't have
crazy how that happens.
phones. Yeah, it's crazy. It's just- but if
All
you
right,
need a
Kelly.
ride,
If you
we
need a
got
ride,
We
Kelly,
got you.
if you need a ride, don't call us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, Kelly.
Hey,
Yeah,
wait
thanks,
one
Kelly.
second. On our exit, for anybody who's last person standing listening to this still now or in the future. I think I said this last episode, but I've started to put, you may not even know this. I started to put at YoBig or YoHome.com.
Nice.
I've started to put all
Sorry.
Hey, look, the choice was between All Systems Yo
That's pretty good.
or Yo Big or Yo Home.
I like also.
All
systems.
So what we decided was the site where I'm essentially YoBigOrYoHome.com. I am slowly putting any song that I've ever been involved with making
Wow.
there for free. Yeah. No email subscriptions, no like for shares,
like-
no
You're not
nothing.
getting people's information?
Just grab it.
Wow.
No, like-
Maybe
you like-
I don't want to add a bunch of people to my
Charity
SoundCloud. that I don't
At some
know.
point, at some point, as we are approaching our 500th, as Collin knows, at some point it'll all be there. So just keep your eyes peeled for that.
Yeah, that's good
And
stuff.
then, Kelly, since you came up with All Systems Yo, I really think that should be like the name of my next album.
It should be, yeah. That's awesome.
That's fucking dope. That's great, dude. So I went ahead and got the domain name. Because I was like,
Yes.
dude, that's just too awesome.
Yeah.
You
Was
got
it
it.
today? Did you buy that today?
Yeah.
I'll give you $1 million.
Yeah.
For all systems, yeah.
$1 million. All systems, It's just getting stupid with
Yeah,
how many ways.
it's getting kind of crazy actually. I can't actually type anything in my phone and it's got yo for everything.
But one day, and I know I'll get this wrong because again, we have no facts here, but one day I was out somewhere in San Diego and Skandar, y'all know Skandar?
Yes.
So we were out hanging out and someone we were all introducing each other and stuff to different people. And someone said, how would you say what it is that you do? They were asking me music. Skandar he goes, I said, Skandar, what would you say? He's like, I don't really know except that he's like, you definitely own the word yo.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Yeah.
He's like, you have single-handedly brought it
Dude, I
back
can't even
and
use the word
own it.
yo. Every time.
Yo.
I
It's
feel
pretty
like
funny.
I'm biting him now when I just say yo. It's terrible.
It's weird, right?
Yeah. I mean, I give you that yo.
And I feel like more people
I
say
do.
it
Yeah.
that know
yeah.
me online.
Yeah.
Like they have to cap off their phrase with that.
It's
Yeah.
fantastic.
It's all yo.
Good time. All right, for the 11th time, we're gonna wrap it up.
Kelly,
any final parting words?
Stay classy.
Yo.
Stay classy. Yo.
Bye guys, thank you.